Well, guys, we are back for another episode of the Little Asshole Show, episode 112. And what are today's topics?
Idiot conservative YouTubers exposed as Russian assets. Russian paid asset Dimfall says Ukraine is America's #1 enemy. Trump completely and utterly shits himself in president debate. Is the Bernie to Trump pipeline real? Vanguard destroys third-party idiots. Republicans expose themselves as the racists we already knew for the 4,795th time. And elongated Musgrave makes Twitter into a Nazi-infested tampon.
Don't you love my titles? I think of the best titles in the world.
You do. You do come up with some great titles.
Alright, so what do we talk about first?
Idiot conservative YouTubers exposed as Russian assets.
So, of course, we were going to actually get into the topic about Dimfall, but this is actually more important because it relates to the other one. So, of course, recently, the Department of Justice just revealed that a whole bunch of dipshit conservative YouTubers were being paid by Russia. Now, of course, it was through Lauren Chen, who then transferred the money to other people, and now...
Lauren Chen and her husband.
Yeah, it was... I'm trying to remember everyone. It was Dimfall, Ray Dubin, a whole bunch
Benny
of other
Johnson, and Lauren Southern are the big four I remember.
Yeah, and there was a whole bunch of others too. And of course, their excuse was, we didn't know that or anything like that. I'm going to be honest, I don't believe them. I think they did know, and they're just trying to save their ass and such.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Oh, that's the thing. The Russians picked them because they already were doing the Russian talking points that they wanted them to continue.
Because they're a bunch of idiots.
Yep.
So, yeah, they were exposed, and looks like, wasn't Lauren Chen might be locked up potentially?
Possibly, yeah.
And the others might get lucky, unfortunately. So, yeah, this was a great fun the last week or so making fun of them for being idiots. So now, after looking forever to find a video that was short, we're going to watch Mike's video on it. And, of course, we're going to get started with the beginning of the video is going to be literally one of the things that we're going to be making fun of Dimfall in the next video.
Yep.
Ukraine is the enemy of this country.
Ukraine
is our enemy, being funded by the Democrats. I will stress this again. One of the greatest enemies of our nation right now is Ukraine.
Now, of course, what makes it funny is because he's paid to say that. So,
he's been paid to say that.
This may come as a surprise, but the man you just heard from was allegedly paid by the Russian government to spread pro-Russian propaganda. Shocking, I know. Don't know who to trust these days. Now, it seems like he was unknowingly being used by the Russian government because he's both dumb and greedy, but it's easy to see why they'd take an interest with him with commentary like that, and also after seeing him tweet obsessively about an American Civil War for years.
But he's not the conservatives want a second American Civil War that they will lose. Yay!
Only one, because the other so-called talent that was involved includes white supremacist Lauren Southern, closeted homosexual Benny Johnson, and out and proud conservative homosexual Dave Rubin. Now, additionally, there's Lauren Chen, a fellow right-wing grifter who was fired from the Blaze TV because she's also involved, albeit in a different way. 74 reports, quote, Chen and her husband, Liam Donovan,
that's because she's a literal Russian asset. So
co-founders of Tenant Media, a previously obscure media company that paid eye-popping sums to right-wing influencers to produce videos that echoed Russian propaganda and other right-wing talking points according to an indictment. Now, if you're wondering how much money we're talking about here, because eye-popping is certainly a term to use when you're talking about money, well, according to the indictment, we're talking approximately $8.7 million between October 2023 and August 2024, distributed among just 3 of the 6 commentators. Commentator 1 is either Dave Rubin or Benny Johnson, and commentator 2 is Tim Pool.
I can tell you who they are. Number 1 is Dave Rubin, number 2 is Tim Pool, and number 3 is Benny Johnson.
And I mean, between those 3 alone, that's like almost $3 million each. That's quite a lot in less than a year.
So, needless to say, this was a very, very, very lucrative deal. And I don't know if they saw any red flags when they agreed to this, although they should, I'd argue. But we'll get to that later. But I mean, even if they did and were smart enough to pick up on the clues that this was a little bit suspicious, it was easier for them to overlook them because, again, they're greedy and they're also dumb. But to be clear, the indictment doesn't specifically name Tim Pool or Dave Rubin or anyone else. It doesn't even name Tenant Media, but the indictment does give us enough information to piece it all together with varying degrees of success. For example, The Guardian hilariously found out that it was Tim Pool, but they thought that this random dude in a beanie was Tim Pool. And then when it started to go viral, they removed the picture from Tim Pool altogether. Now, Andrew Lawrence shared this screenshot from a CBS report blurring the face of one of these commentators. It's hard to figure out who this is in particular, but, maybe you can take a guess. I think they're trying to protect the identity of the individual here, but I think most people know who the fuck this is, so this is just so funny. But for the most part, it's pretty obvious Tim Pool and others are the ones that this indictment is talking about, and they've all released statements about this, denying culpability and calling themselves victims, so we'll get to their responses after we dive into the indictment itself. So AP reports, one criminal case disclosed by the Justice Department accuses 2 employees of RT, a Russian state media company, of covertly funding a Tennessee-based content creation company with nearly $10 million to publish English language videos on social media platforms including TikTok and YouTube with messages in favor of the Russian government's interests and agenda, including about the war in Ukraine. The nearly 2,000 videos posted by the company have gotten more than 16 million views on YouTube alone, prosecutors said. The 2 defendants, Konstantin Kalashnikov and Elena Afantsevya, are charged with conspiracy to commit money laundering and violating the Foreign Agents Registration Act. They are at large. It was not immediately clear if they had lawyers. The Justice Department says the company did not disclose that it was funded by RT and that neither it nor its founders registered as required by law as an agent of a foreign principal. So to recap, the lion's share of the money went to the influencers, Dave Rubin, Tim Pool, etc. And to put it into perspective for you, the last Super Bowl had 123 million plus viewers, and ads for that cost around $7 million, give or take. But $8.7 million was distributed to just 3 of the 6 commentators, which amounts to $2.9 million each, assuming it was distributed equally. And they got a total of 16 million views across 2,000 videos on YouTube alone, which means that the Russian government spent more than corporations spend on Super Bowl ads to have these right-wing grifters spread their bullshit. That is insane. And if you're wondering what they were supposed to do,
that's an average of 8,000 views.
Yep, grifters got a grift,
These were the talking points. The first sentence is pretty telling. We would like to reiterate that in the United States, there are no pro-Russian and or pro-Putin mainstream politicians or sufficiently large numbers of influencers and voters. There is no point of justifying Russia and no one to justify it too. All American politicians and influencers are patriots and supporters of American supremacy. Now, pause right there for a moment. If you created a partnership deal with the media company and you were handed this document, would those first couple of sentences not set off some red flags for you? Would the alarm bells not start to go off in your head? Well, if you're dumb and greedy, the answer is no, because you wouldn't see the red flags because there'd just be dollar signs in your eyes blocking said red flags, right? And that's assuming they even read this in the first place, which you could probably argue that they did not, because these don't seem like the brightest people. And even though this is very lucrative, I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if they just signed it and didn't think twice about it. But the specific topics include the economy, risk of job loss for, quote, white Americans, that's interesting, privileges for people of color, perverts, and disabled, very interesting talking point. Then skip to line 5. Threat of crime coming from people of color and immigrants, including new immigrants from Ukraine. Very interesting talking points. Overspending on foreign policy at the expense of interests of white U.S. citizens. Skip to 8. Our guys will die in Ukraine. Now, section 4 tells us who the target audience is, and it's obviously U.S. political party A's voters, meaning Republicans, Trump supporters, influencers and conservatives, as well as white Americans. In other words, they were being paid to spread white supremacist propaganda to white people and indirectly support Russia over Ukraine by talking about the spending on the war, as well as the risk that it could pose to the lives of American troops. So the content isn't necessarily explicitly pro-Russia, but as you can see, they were expected to promote Russia's interests in a subtle way. And to be clear, the indictment isn't alleging criminal wrongdoing by Tim Pool, Dave Rubin, and the other influencers. In fact, if you read it, it explicitly suggests that they were duped. And I do believe that they were duped because we're talking about imbeciles here. There's no evidence to suggest that they purposefully acted as assets to the Russian government. They were merely useful idiots who, parrot whatever somebody tells them to if there's money involved. And in response, they're claiming to be useful idiots essentially as well, but they're using a specific word to describe themselves. They're calling themselves victims. Dave Rubin tweeted, "These allegations clearly show that I and other commentators were victims of this scheme. I knew absolutely nothing about any of this fraudulent activity, period." Benny Johnson says, "A year ago, a media startup pitched my company to provide content as an independent content contractor. Our lawyers negotiated a standard arm's length."
By high-level ideas.
Sorry, Brave Dubin. Recover runs out of PP eventually.
Deal, which was later terminated. We are disturbed by the allegations in today's indictment, which make clear that myself and other influencers were victims in this alleged scheme. My lawyers will handle anyone who states or suggests otherwise. So he's threatening to sue anybody who accuses him of purposeful wrongdoing. Interesting. So Tim Pool writes, "Should these allegations prove true, I, as well as the other personalities and commentators, were deceived and are victims. I cannot speak for anyone else at the company as to what they do or to what they are instructed." He later says, "Putin is a scumbag. Russia sucks donkey ball." So that proves he's not in the tank for Russia. Now he also added a Ukraine flag emoji. And
Ukraine is America's #1 enemy, and all Ukrainians
which we're going to get to next. He thinks he's so clever putting Ukraine's flag in his Twitter thing. Yeah, that's so impressive that you're pro-Ukraine.
Joke tweets about being pro-war and wanting to fund Israel and Ukraine. Now, I did check Lauren Chen's timeline and didn't see a response. She was, however, talking about the trans lobby, so I'm assuming that's more important right now. But Ben Shapiro did weigh in, and he's defending right-wing colleagues of his, and he's pointing out that the indictment claims that Lauren Chen and her husband allegedly deceived Dave Rubin, Tim Pool, and others on purpose with regard to where the money came from that they offered them. But when it comes to the 6 influencers like Tim Pool and Dave Rubin, to be clear, there's no evidence to suggest criminal wrongdoing on their part, or that they knew the Russian government was involved. But I've got to say, it is weird that they're calling themselves victims, because most victims don't get millions and millions of dollars for being victimized, for getting duped, right? They're not losing anything. They're not being asked to return the money even. The only thing that's at risk here is their reputation, but the right-wing audiences that they've cultivated are already predisposed to believe whatever they say, so it's a win-win for them. You get a bunch of money, and
our brains are literally
you look like a truth teller to your audience. Either way, they're not going to question this or doubt you. But I will say, in hindsight, certain comments that Tim Pool has made are pretty interesting in light of this news. For example, in 2019, he tweeted, "The people screaming about Trump working for Russia are the same people demanding social media censor, quote, misinformation. Stop listening to these people." That is so
Dimple. That's why we should
rich.
Listen to you.
Now, there's also this claim that he made in his show with Emma Vickland, where she was explaining to him why the right is dominating the left in the independent media space, and listen to what he says in response.
You guys have a lot more money than the left-wing media space. We just try to combat it a little bit.
I think the issue with that, I can understand why you'd say that, but it looks like this is a great way to kick off the show, actually, like the start of the culture war. I actually don't think whatever this space has more money, because this is a fractured independent space of varying ideologies.
Tim, I'm in your compound right now.
Yeah, I'm rich. Sam's had way more subscribers than me for a long, long time.
Right.
And he just like hit. And I'm not saying this to be like mean. I'm saying if he doesn't know how to turn revenue, the issue is more so you need like a COO or somebody who's going to say, here's how we provide something to
I think the majority report is doing fine and doesn't need to grift like you, pal.
So we're better at that here, I suppose.
Same with Kyle.
Well, no, because what you say
which
here
Kyle made fun of.
By the way, I love that he bought. Do you want to know that Tim Pool bought that skate park shortly after this discussion with the Russian money that he had. He had already been recently paid by the Russians when he said that during his discussion with Emma.
And of course, Kyle also exposed these people, because this could be another video maybe next time, how the independent media is actually fake, as we all know for the last few years, other than like Kyle and a few people actually are, because it's just corporate media of a different stripe.
Exactly.
Advertisers. I mean, we're basically only members and
fraud media.
Come on, Emma is absolutely right, and he knows
fake media.
If you say things that the capitalist class wants to hear,
and I'm sure
it's just a fact of reality that you're going to have more opportunities because you're not a threat to power. You're not a threat to capital. Put aside Russia for a moment. Why do you think Rumble, which is funded by billionaires like Peter Thiel, is only offering right-wingers very lucrative contracts? Why do you think that is?
Grifting!
Is it because they just really think that Tim Pool or others who are funded on Rumble? I don't know if Tim Pool's funded by Rumble.
Why would you want to go on there? You got Twitter now!
Are we assuming that the billionaires just think that they have unique insight that's really necessary for the world to hear? No, it's because they're doing propaganda for the ruling class, right? So that's why
God, I love that. Nazi
pales in comparison to the online
you make Nazism sound like a sexually transmitted disease.
Maybe it is when it comes to elongated Musgrave.
So Republicans, they actually think the opposite is true because they genuinely believe that George Soros is funding all of us. Spoiler alert, he's not. But when it comes to, foreign disinformation campaigns, let this just be a little bit of a warning to you. Be very cautious about who you choose to trust online, especially during election seasons. Always question motives and be skeptical of the people who you're listening to, especially if they're not transparent about their funding. Because there's almost certainly more benefit factors and useful idiots getting paid to say things they don't actually believe that haven't been exposed yet. It's true of corporate media, but it's also true of independent media as well. So you need to be skeptical of what you consume, question people, question motives, and that includes me and other people on the left as well. We have to be responsible consumers of media, both corporate and independent, because if we're not, we could get duped and be just as vulnerable as Tim Pool's audience. And I'm not trying to make you paranoid, but I'm just telling you that you have to understand that there are a lot of people who don't actually care about getting to the truth contrary to what they say. Right? They just want to make money. They have no core principles. They just want to make money. It's just the job
if you want to make like $1 billion like my YouTube series did.
It's true in independent media. And that's really unfortunate because I had hoped that this space would be good for American political discourse as a member of independent media myself, but unfortunately, that's not the case. It's a cesspool. There's a lot of bad faith actors, probably as much bad faith actors in indie media as there are in corporate media. So you just have to be careful, especially when we're talking about the far right in this space, because they're the ones who are more likely to spread bullshit for money because capital is interested in what they have to say because it's not a threat to capital. Whereas if we start talking about how capitalism is bad on the left, they're not going to like us very much. So there's a reason why they're successful and we're not. But at the end of the day, I'm choosing principles over money, and they're doing the opposite.
Because your hairline is
and I'm not alone. There are other people on the left who are choosing principles and people over money. That doesn't mean that you should automatically trust what we say. Again, still be skeptical and fact check us, but just be more responsible with what you consume online because a lot of it is bullshit. Again, especially during election seasons.
And he's very Ukrainist.
Of course he is.
So yeah,
he wants a unipolar world under China.
So yeah, what do you gotta say about that?
That's hilarious. I love it.
Yep, no surprise because
I knew. Yep.
Because you're all
we knew they were taking something, but they were taking money, and now we know where.
And that also opens up easily why he thinks the shit he was just about to say in the next topic, which was the first thing I posted like a week ago, and boy was I mad going into this field. But now that I know why you think the way you do, now I feel pathetic for you that you spew all this crap and it's all for money.
Now I feel pity for him.
So of course, the next thing we're talking about is Dimful, sometime before this allegation was released, did a video on how Ukraine bad, Russia good, and all that, World War III, yada yada yada, and it was pretty bad.
Ukraine, Moldova, and Georgia must be annexed.
And of course, I was gonna rage like a maniac in this, but now I know why you did this video. I could just laugh at you instead. So let's get into the cap and the grift.
We've got huge news from Politico. Ukraine's incursion into Russia could change everything, Mark Kelly says.
One month later, still hasn't been kicked out yet.
He said, getting back on his heels. He said of Russia's
president. I think it's finally slowed down Russia's advance in the Donbass, in Donetsk.
China is ready to engage, to take Taiwan, and they want to go.
No, they're not. No. That's at least another 3 years away.
And they're going to feel the wrath of everyone in Asia if they do that.
I know. Like the only time frame that China realistically has is between 2027 and 2030.
And then also remember between April and October as well.
And let this happen. I don't know what Russia can do, but Ukraine has invaded Russia. I think this is the scariest thing we could have seen.
It's a counterattack.
Hindustan Times, not that I think is the greatest source or whatever.
They're definitely not when it comes to this issue.
Kursk's incursion exposed.
All of India's media is really bad on this.
Italian Deputy Prime Minister warns West of World War III.
Remember that China, North Korea, India, Iran, Kazakhstan, Armenia, Hungary, and Belarus are where Russia's getting their weapons from.
Here we go. Telegraph. World War III is closer than anyone dare admit. I mean, I've been talking about it.
No.
Ukraine has invaded Russia. Let's pull this up.
Dim, it's been a whole month. They haven't done it yet, and it would be stupid for them to do so. Like every single red line, but the last one, invading Crimea, every red line has been crossed that they threaten nuclear weapons if. Nothing's happened.
Even one that's before it's one that's even further than fucking invading Crimea. Invading Russia itself.
Yeah, and nothing's happened.
Let's pull up the map here. Hey. We're grabbing it, and we'll do Kursk, Russia. This is Ukraine invading Russian territory. Let me close this, drop this in. Okay. Kursk. Here's the map. Here's Ukraine, and they have invaded this territory of Russia. It's kind of hard to see, but here's the border of Ukraine. They've now invaded Russia. I mean, we saw this coming. Do you think Russia is just going to sit back and say, Western forces are invading our country, we're going to do nothing?
Western forces are not invading, you dumb shit.
Exactly.
You stupid fuck.
Exactly, you fucktard.
They've lost their minds. You vote for Kamala Harris, my friends. Don't be surprised if your sons are drafted. Don't be surprised if your daughters are drafted. The Democratic Party...
No, if anything happens, it'll be Putler's fault, so blame him instead.
Who wants to expand the draft to women. All of these single cat ladies.
Oh, here we go with this comment again.
This conspiracy again.
Getting into a little bit of battle into some misogyny, I see there, dim fool.
Yep.
For the Western
Dim fool, you're the crazy hog man. I'm doing hog man because there is because I am not disrespecting dogs.
Still, I see you're still very mad about Emma.
Machine.
Yeah.
You know what?
Emma's living rent free in his head.
If you are a parent, if you're a woman who's pregnant, they're not sending you to fight. If you're a woman who has a young child, they can't send you to fight.
I mean, in a lot of cases, at least in America, men would be able to get away too with that.
If you're a young man, bye. You're first in line. Harry Sisson's going to be on the front lines. I'm not kidding. They're going to have him do some kind of PR role, frontline stuff, if it really comes down to the draft. He's young enough. He's perfect for it. If World War III really does kick off,
it'll be the fault of Russia and China.
Does expand this conflict, and then look, I can give you a scenario. Let's jump back to the map. Kursk gets invaded. Russia.
Oh no. Oh boy. You're going to hear one of the stupidest and funniest things ever. I hope you're ready to laugh, because here is Dimpool's argument of how Russia could checkmate NATO in the West. Oh boy, this is going to be good.
Here's a strategy. And I'm saying Russia could have a simple strategy. How do you force Ukraine to back off from the Kursk region? You attack Latvia.
No. Dude, Poland is waiting for an opportunity to just fire every missile it has into Moscow and St. Petersburg.
Wait,
Fuck off!
it gets even
That would be
more.
the perfect way to do it.
It gets even more silly. Just keep listening.
You've got Kaliningrad right here, this chunk right here on the Baltic. This is Russia. Kaliningrad right here is a Russian oblast that is not connected to Russia. It is bordered to the north by Lithuania and to the south by Poland. They could launch an incursion from Kaliningrad into Lithuania.
So attack Latvia and Lithuania at the same time.
You gonna add Estonia to that list, Tim?
Okay, first off, what assets are there in Kaliningrad? Russia took everything out of Kaliningrad pretty much to fight in Ukraine, so there's nothing there. Poland would just easily walk in with no effort. They wouldn't have to bring any weapons. And second of all, no. What makes you think you're going to even beat Latvia or Lithuania? And also, man, I need to add up NATO. You're going to fight all of Europe, America, Canada. You're going to get your butts kicked. You can't even beat Ukraine. You think you're going to be able to invade Latvia and Lithuania with nothing in Kaliningrad?
And Estonia.
Like, come on. Like, how does he think this is going to be a check mark? Like, come on. This is so stupid.
In fact, they could attack Lithuania from the south and
But
Latvia
with what
from the
assets?
east.
Exactly.
massive-
They stole everything. They took everything away.
What does Kaliningrad have, you idiot?
Force Ukraine or NATO to reassess. Now, I don't know that Russia could handle by itself going up
NATO would
against
just be
all of
like,
the West.
all right, we're gonna. Okay, here we go. Poland. Hey, you take like 10% of your. Take like half your forces and you invade Belarus. Everyone else, we're gonna speed run 1941 Nazi Germany, but we're actually gonna run all the way past Moscow, and we're gonna somehow take all of Russia.
Oh, and you know what else, Dimful? There's also a major weakness, too, I just thought of, and involves Finland. And by the way, just earlier today, Russian state TV actually advocated taking back Finland now, so add another country to the list they want to take back over. But, guess what?
Well, they want to take every single country west that's east of Germany.
But
because that was allied to the Soviet Union with the politics of the Russian Empire.
But guess what? Just like with Kaliningrad, despite the fact that Finland's joined NATO, and remember all the threats about NATO expansion, Russia has taken almost everything military-wise out of the border with Finland. So you know what that means?
Yep.
NATO could just easily speed run to St. Petersburg with no effort.
Yep. Speed run to St. Petersburg and then speed run on to Moscow.
Like, they're gonna lose no matter what. That's why it would be so stupid for them to do anything.
Powers.
God.
Yeah.
The question then becomes, how does Turkey handle this? The question then becomes, what does China think? Russia's huge.
If China was
Nothing.
smart,
China enters.
No, they take Western. China takes Western Russia.
because they want to take that back over like it used to be there.
Yep.
The fray.
Yep.
Joining Russia. Taking Taiwan. Splitting U.S.
You
forces.
think they can take Taiwan? Come on, stop capping. You're overrating them. They're both paper tigers. Just
Welcome
stop.
to World War III.
Yeah.
Not to mention, we've already got a crisis in the Middle East. You've got the Houthi rebels in the Red Sea attacking shipping lanes.
They
Saudi
would be crushed.
Arabia,
That's
Yemen.
piracy. They would be crushed.
You've got Iran.
And they're crushed. And
Things are
dude, look, if you got it there, if Yemen did anything like that, they would be literally bombed into the land itself. Would be bombed into the ocean.
I mean, they've already suffered enough for crying out loud. Like last 10 years. Thank you, Saudi Arabia, for your genocide.
They're being genocided by
Saudi Arabia and us, of course.
Yep. By the Gulf states minus Qatar.
And I think that
because they decided to scapegoat Qatar several years back.
And of course, Iran involved too. Like they're not a threat to us. So why you keep bringing them up?
Yep.
this
is the part where I remind you that in the Yemen Civil War, the country with the group with the second biggest territory was freaking Al Qaeda.
No, I fear we will have full-scale war before the election.
Well, you heard him. Full-scale war before the election. We'll see about that,
I feel like
pal. I remember all of you said that was going to happen with China attacking Taiwan back in 2020, and that didn't happen.
It would result in Trump winning, but this is their fail-safe.
You think Trump's going to win with that? Get out of here.
The military-industrial complex, they call it, wants the war. If Donald
No, actually.
Trump becomes president and the war is already on, it will be very, very difficult to stop. And Trump may have no choice but to say, we're going to see this through. We can't stop now. I think Trump will attempt to bring peace.
Not only would Trump not stop it, he would encourage it, remember? I would encourage Russia to invade the NATO countries if they don't pay 2%.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
But I do believe that Democrats will try to make this war happen before anyone can change office.
Yep.
Speaking on CBS's Face the Nation, the Arizona Democrat said 130,000 Russians have had to leave their homes at this point in the conflict. I think the Ukrainians did something unpredictable that could really change the tide of how this conflict is going to play out.
And by the way, since we didn't get to bring this up last time because we didn't know anything about it because it just happened, Ukrainian troops are actually treating Russian civilians like people, humans. They're actually giving them freaking like food and aid on. They're treating them like people. Whereas Russia is bombing Russian civilian targets now. They're attacking their own people. Like,
of course they are.
At the time of the Russian invasion of Ukraine, there were fears that if Ukraine and its allies expanded into Russian territory, a regional or global conflict could break out.
Yeah, that was the fear back then.
That never happened.
Yeah, that was the fear that we thought that would happen if they did do that. But now, 2.5 years later, we've seen that didn't happen. So we got to change our mind.
The war, however, has largely settled into a stalemate, at least until Ukraine's forces crossed into the Kursk region in Russian territory. It's simple. Low-yield tactical nukes.
Damn, that's not going to make a difference, and it's going to make NATO more likely to join the war. Like, stop. It's not going to make a difference.
Russia is not going to tolerate its city being evacuated.
Well, they've dealt with it for like the last whole month, and nothing's happened.
How long until Russia says 100 kilotons? We'll keep it small. End Kiev.
And to put that in perspective, that's like 7 or 8 times more powerful than the nukes that were dropped on Hiroshima and Nagasaki.
That ends the war.
Jesus.
I don't know.
And that's low yield now. What the fuck?
Yep.
That's horrifying.
So, of course, he just advocated just drop a 100 kiloton nuke on Kyiv.
That we'll see that. We'll see that right away.
100 kiloton nuclear weapon on Ukraine because he's evil and wants millions and millions of deaths.
What makes you think that would even work, Dimful? What makes you think those missiles would even work, first off, Dimful?
Yeah. It'd be hilarious if they just exploded on the launch pad.
Or Ukraine shoots it down, too.
First is likely going to be low-yield nuclear artillery, flattening the eastern region of Ukraine.
Yeah, that would affect the Russians, true, you idiot.
Yeah. Yep.
It would affect them badly, too. It would blow back to them, you fuck. Like with gas in World War I.
Wiping out some key areas. If Russia uses any kind of actual higher-yield nuclear weapon, then it's World War III and they know it.
Oh, they would bring in NATO regardless of what nukes they use, so that's why they're not going to do it.
But I don't know that it matters
not
anymore.
That stupid as you are.
This is psychotic. Ukraine is the enemy of this country. Ukraine is our enemy, being funded by the Democrats.
Ukraine is the enemy of America.
The greatest enemies of our nation.
Yeah, the enemy of Russia, you Russian asset.
I would rage at you like I did when I first saw this video, but once we saw that you are a Russian paid asset, I'm like, okay, I'll just laugh at you instead.
Right now is Ukraine. They are expanding this war. Now, don't get me wrong, I know. You've got criminal elements of the U.S. government pushing them and guiding them and telling them what to do.
I hate to break the news to you, fool, but they kept this completely secret from America because they would be against it. So, no, just stop.
Ukraine is now accused, a German warrant issued for blowing up the Nord Stream pipeline.
Oh, of course, here we go with this crap again.
Oh, shit.
Triggering this conflict.
That's not true.
So blowing up Nord Stream pipeline, which happened months before the war, somehow triggered the war. Okay, Dim, sure.
Yep.
Ukraine is the greatest threat to this nation and to the world. We should rescind all funding and financing, pull out all military support,
towards them.
And we should apologize to Russia.
We should apologize to Russia!
Yeah,
it's our fault that they invaded and lost hundreds of thousands of lives because of it. Yeah, it's our fault.
Putin's a bad guy. Not a good dude.
Everything's America's fault.
But for what reason are we now allowing Ukrainian forces to invade Russia?
We're not allowing them. They're doing it on their own. I guarantee you, if America knew beforehand, they probably would stop it. I don't think they would allow it. But that's why they kept it a secret. And Ukraine is right to do that. So how about that?
Russia's only recourse if they lose the Kursk region is going to be just carpet bombing Ukraine.
They
I've been already doing that since the start of the war, you scumbag.
And they still keep failing. So
they cannot win. But by the graces of Russia, does Ukraine continue? Because Russia has...
Oh, so Ukraine is only advancing the Kursk because Russia's good grace. They're just letting them do so. Yeah, sure.
Nukes.
Yeah, shut the
Russia
fuck
is
up.
deciding not to flatten Ukraine.
They have been, you dumb fuck!
Flattening Ukraine for you
If Russia
moron.
decides right now that an invasion into their territory is too much, and so they decide to just carpet bomb or nuke Ukraine,
They've already
it's
been carpet bombing. They're fucking bombing
Maybe that's what NATO wants.
Civilians, hospitals, and everything.
Yeah.
Justification for entering the war and scaling things up and starting World War III. World War III being the excuse by which they can rush into Russia, destroy their government.
I mean, that would be very simple.
Yeah.
But again, it's Putin that would be causing it, not the West.
Yep.
Putin's...
Guys, the West is actively trying to not let Ukraine do anything. They're not even letting them recently, like the last 2 weeks have been a controversy, not letting them do even more strikes deep into Russia because of escalation.
It's in between a rock and a hard place. What's he going to do? Allow NATO to expand on its border?
It already expanded thanks to them.
Yeah.
And they let it, you retard.
Sweden, Finland,
Yep.
and once the war's over, Ukraine. Guys, just remember, before they start all this, Ukraine, Finland, Sweden had no interest in joining NATO. Now they have or want to because of them. All of it comes back to them.
Literally invade its territory? It did.
And guess what, Dem? It's been a month and nothing's happened. So keep coping.
Will China intervene on behalf?
China doesn't give a fuck. If anything, they would want to take back Western Russia for crying out loud.
Of Russia.
Yep.
Or
Things are
East
getting
in our
crazy.
eyes.
Yeah.
At first, we heard that the Ukrainians were firing rockets into this region. And
Dim, they've been firing rockets into Russia since the second day of the war. Again, a red line that's been passed a long time ago, nothing
they said
happened.
it's because Russians were attacking them from this territory. Now they've invaded and triggered an evacuation. On Sunday, host Margaret Brennan asked Kelly if he was comfortable with American weapons being used on Russian soil. I am at this point, Kelly said. The Ukrainians were illegally attacked by Vladimir Putin. He's intentionally killing women, children, old people. It was an illegal invasion. Illegal?
Wait, you're not, now your question, that was not, you think it was legal? Oh boy, that money's really breaking your brain.
This incursion.
Oh, it
and
is.
let's characterize it that way for
has.
now. I don't think the Ukrainians want to intentionally
like
hold
some
Russian
dumb
territory for a
leftist
long
stuff
period of
now.
time.
Yep.
But this really set Putin back on his heels. No, it
Remember
didn't.
horseshoe theory.
Yep. You're really horseshoe theory really hard there, dim fool.
Putin's allowing it to happen.
He's allowing it to happen because he's incompetent and Russia has no army. He's not. Otherwise, he would not
That's
let
the
it happen.
reality.
You
He's
idiot.
allowing it to happen. I will stress this again.
Exactly.
At any point.
Why do you guys
That's
always
true.
insist that Russia's just letting them do anything they want to, like be nice and all that? They're not. Just stop.
Vladimir Putin
They
could scale
suck.
up
That's
the
why
weapons
they're
that he's
losing.
using, and he can say,
Yep.
10 kilotons. Flatten this region. Not Kursk. Flatten, I don't know, Donetsk? What are we looking at?
He don't even know where Donetsk
Likely
is.
where they're invading from. Here's Kursk.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, this is Donetsk. That's the Kharkiv area. Duh.
Flatten him. He can...
What, nuke Sumy? Again, that really would have not really much of an impact on the war. It would come back to affect Russia, and of course, would bring everyone involved on their ass.
Can literally just flatten the rural areas outside of it. He can destroy any means by which vehicles could transport through, and he can say cut them off. Tactical or nuclear artillery.
But then you guys don't have any assets either, so your guys are running out of shit, as we've covered before.
I mean, the reality is this, my fear. Vladimir Putin nukes Kiev with a 100-kiloton bomb and says, it ends today. The people of Russia won't tolerate...
And even if you did do that, Ukraine's not going to give up no matter what. Like, just stop.
Tolerate this. But I got to tell you, there's another reality here.
And you know that
Freaking even Ukraine's
the nearest country that has nuclear weapons would immediately fire a nuclear weapon into Russia within a couple of days.
Freaking even Ukraine's military doesn't even think Putler would do that. You would think they would be the most concerned about it.
Putin may be very happy that they invaded Kursk. It's going to allow him to mobilize a war effort.
But Putler doesn't...
He's already mobilizing, you moron!
And Putler doesn't
He's
want to...
mobilized multiple times and emptied a whole bunch of oblasts out.
And Putler doesn't want to do it because he suffered immense political damage when he did that partial mobilization around this time 2 years ago. He doesn't want to. He wants to try and put it at all costs.
He may be sitting back being like, thank you.
And they have probably almost twice as many troops on the front, and it ain't making a difference because they have no equipment.
God, they finally did it.
Exactly.
Now he goes on TV and says, NATO, the United States, through Ukraine, have attacked and invaded our country, displacing 130,000 people. He might then say, my fellow Russians, you must mobilize. We need weapons manufacturing. We need resources.
They're still losing more stuff than they're producing because their tactics suck ass.
Food. The war has been brought to us. If you sit back,
all that Soviet equipment from decades ago just being
and
drained
this is
like
going to ignite the people of Russia.
Yep.
They're on track to run out of
give it a year, and Russia will be done.
Actually, by the beginning of next year, which will be only a few months from now.
Oh wow!
That's how quickly they burn through stuff.
Nice.
All that Soviet stuff from like Cold War times being gone, just like that.
This may be what Putin was hoping for. So then, with
plus
the mass
all those tank
mobilization,
stuff will get one shot by like
Ukraine.
APCs because they're that crap.
If it really did escalate to that point, I fear Putin would then bomb Kiev. You know why? Because ain't no European nation.
There's already bombing Kiev. You fucktard.
Is going. What did they say? Which city was it in Poznan? I think it was. Might have been. Some EU parliamentary member says, no one is going to sacrifice New York for Poznan.
What?
If Vladimir Putin really was to nuke a Polish city,
unless you think of New York and Ukraine, and if y'all don't know, there actually is a New York and Ukraine that actually got taken over recently.
There would be no dramatic mutually assured destruction escalation. If Putin were to attack Kiev with a 100 kiloton bomb, flattening city center, just decimating their center of central governance.
Hate to break the news to you, you bum.
Is NATO really going to scale this up?
Okay, France is the country closest to Russia on our side that has nuclear weapons.
Actually, closer. America, remember, nukes in Germany.
Yes, that's right.
And so, possibly in Italy, unless they removed them. And remember, they used to have nukes in Turkey as well.
Yep.
I do think that if
and the other one you want to add in, remember that Israel has nukes, about 100 nukes.
But of course, Netanyahu is too butt buddies with Putin, remember?
Yep.
On Ukraine?
Well, that's because he's doing the genocide that... Putin wants to do the genocide that Bibi Hitler Yahoo is currently used doing.
A lot of people in this country are going to blame them. They're going to say, Ukraine, if we did not support it, a country we have nothing to do with, Russia would have come in and taken the land, but it would be the end.
Oh, yeah, sure. We just give up and let them take over. Yeah, sure. We kind of did that for a good chunk of this war early on, and they still got their asses kicked out. And no, most Americans, you know what they're going to do? They're going to blame Putler, pal. Again, that money is really breaking your brain.
Crazy, man. I don't know what else to tell you.
I can tell you one thing, you're a dumb as shit.
What invasion? Putin is downplaying Ukraine's first offensive.
Yeah, he's downplaying because he doesn't want to be even more embarrassed than he already was.
Sure. Atlantic Council. Warmongers. Kelly added, since the invasion now over 2 years ago, we have, periodically, as we should reevaluate, how we're going to conduct ourselves with regards to Ukraine. As soon as Ukraine invaded Russia, the U.S. should have cut off all funding.
No.
But the point is, Ukraine's a vassal state of the United States. We are being dragged.
Oh, remember this one for the tankies.
Ukraine is a vassal state, which is why multiple times now they've done stuff on their own and not told us. Wait, what?
Exactly.
God, what an
I'll leave it there. Smash the like button, subscribe to this channel,
I'm surprised you didn't say we overthrew him in 2014 like all you idiots always do. Oh my gosh, that was so funny. What do you guys say about Dimful being a paid shill?
Yep.
Oh yeah, look at that nice, looks like a fur dislikes on that video too, because even here audience thinks you're stupid. Maybe your audience isn't as brain dead as you are. Oh my god, so what do you gotta say about that? Jesus. Yep, and remember, guys, I was originally going to be very angry with the video, but we know why he said it.
Because we now know he's a Russian agent, so this is what, and even this is what he was almost certainly told to say by Lauren Chen.
Oh my gosh. Alright, so now, on to the next topic.
Trump completely and utterly shits himself in president debate.
Just like he did against...
God, I love that. Kamala Harris. Oh, he's trapped. Bates Trump. Trump walks right into it. Kamala Harris. Trap.
You activated my trap card! Bottomless trap hole!
Yes! Only multiple times!
Damn, Trump, you need to play some
behind
Yu-Gi-Oh!
The door!
Wait, just...
activate my trap card. Barrel behind the door! Trap card. Magic cylinder. Trap card.
Let Kamala...
Other burn trap cards.
Let Kamala use... I'll activate Pot of Greed, allows me to draw 2 cards. Activate Graceful Charity, draw 3 cards, discard 2. Oh, look! Exodia, I win. Damn, Trump, play some Yu-Gi-Oh! Oh, that's right, you conservatives think Yu-Gi-Oh! Satanic like Pokemon.
Yep.
Because you're boring and weird.
Yes.
Alright, now that laugh is out of the way. Of course, the other day, the first presidential debate happened between Trump and Harris, and Trump completely and utterly humiliated himself like he did against Biden, but because Biden was a senile old man, people only focus on that instead of him. But he got embarrassed. Oh, sped run while I was working on an off-screen Minecraft world in the background, and oh boy, it was so funny. The amount of bullshit that Trump said, and Kamala just looked at him like an idiot throughout the entire time. It was so funny. I cannot wait to see that level 1 Chansey, Blitzy, known as JD Vance, mess with that level 100 Shuckle known as Walt's coming up very soon.
Yep.
All that 500 million damage! Oh,
yep.
I don't know what's gonna hit him, like my meme. So yeah, Kyle covered it, and oh my god, embarrassing. Absolutely embarrassing.
All right, y'all, welcome to the show.
And
I got an awesome one for you.
Stupid long
I think
intro.
everybody, to one extent or another, believed it. Even people who are anti-Donald Trump feel like, look, he is a good debater. Then you get the debates against Hillary. Look, the consensus was Hillary won those debates, but I could tell you, it wasn't that definitive, right? Trump had plenty of moments that were like, oh, he sort of landed some body blows here.
Yeah, because back then Trump wasn't completely and utterly stupid as he was now, and Hillary was so uniquely hated that it was pretty easy to land attacks on her that stuck.
And a lot of the arguments against Hillary have a grain of truth in them, so they land harder. But then you get to 2020, Trump won 2 of those debates. Was there 2 or 3? I don't remember. He won at least 1, and then there was that famous one where he did his worst job, where the mics were on for both him and Biden.
And he kept interrupting Biden like an asshole.
He kept berating Biden, and badgering Biden, and jumping in
he kept
at
looking
weird
like
times.
a clown.
And everybody just thought he was overly aggressive, so the consensus was he lost that debate. Look, I'll go on the record and say it. His loss to Kamala is way, way worse than his loss to Biden in that instance. Because here's the thing. Biden wasn't particularly good. He wasn't good in that debate. He was just more of a normal person, and everybody felt like Trump
an adult.
Was insane, right?
Yep.
This is a mix
Even
of
his brain dead ass
Trump
stayed
was
like an adult.
insane, and also Kamala was on her game. And she came fucking prepared, man. She came prepared. So right off the bat, I'm going to say, I predict about a 3-point bump for Kamala Harris in the polls after this debate. I predict about a 3-point bump.
Are you doing getting spell cards or trap cards? Because if it's traps, it's Royal Decree or Jinzo, and if it's spells, it's Spell Canceller or Imperial Order.
I was about to say she's going to activate Royal Decree, but that will negate her traps too.
Yeah.
Okay, we're going to see in relatively short order
Jinzo
whether or not
and the Amplifier spell to ensure that her trap cards can still be activated.
Or maybe trigger him like I triggered Gavin before, Armored B.
Yeah.
To cut your monster's attack in half when I destroy it.
Nice.
Because there's a lot of people who still don't know, or on the fence, don't know enough about Kamala, and if they watch this, most of them are going to come out of it saying, yeah, she could do it. She seems competent. She seems with it. She seems intelligent.
Anyone
and it's
seems
the way that
competent
she handled
compared
Trump.
to that
Guys,
brain dead old man.
The whole they're weird, and the whole dismissive attitude toward Trump, yeah, he's dangerous, but he's also just a silly person. Can we call a spade here? He's a goofball. That's the energy she brought to this debate.
Like I said, when he debated Biden back in June, what Trump did was exactly what I saw in the last debate between them, but you all focus on Biden instead of Trump, as you should
smiling, a lot of laughing, a lot of eye rolls,
And there's a fine line between doing that and looking like an asshole and a jerk, and doing that and just sort of tapping into the collective consciousness where we're all feeling like, God, this guy's a freak. And she did it the right way. It didn't come across over the top. It didn't come across like a jerk. So here's the main dynamic that we saw, guys. The main dynamic that we saw.
I know. He just activated my free wave motion cannons. Ha 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 ha. If you've seen my Nightmare Troubadour playthrough, I've won so many duels thanks to wave motion cannon because it's too OP.
Yep. Yeah. By the way, that I didn't. Hang on, let me check something. I think it actually has been.
Actually, no. I think I looked up before. It was still common or unlimited. Don't you love
wave motion? Yep, still unlimited.
My favorite spell card of all time is unlimited, and I use 3 of them in my duels on Nightmare Troubadour playthrough. Let's go.
These traps perfectly. I think they planned to lay these traps. Kamala baited his ass so many times. She would lay a trap, she would bait him, he would walk right into the trap, make an ass of himself, and then she would come in to dunk it on him and dismantle him after the fact. And look, a lot of the problem, it was just basic optic stuff was a problem for Trump,
is
too.
that you as Trump without traps?
His blood was boiling, he was melting down.
No wonder you
had
have
bad
some Brooklyn
posture,
rage then.
And again, she was smiling and laughing and having a good time.
Nah, it's more like
giving
taking
him
on Odeon, where Odeon's just like endless trap cards.
Yep.
For rope to hang himself, and that was the dynamic the entire night.
Trump, is your name actually Steve and Merrick's controlling you?
So, we will get to, I mean, probably the biggest moments most people will remember walking out of this debate. There's a few of them.
Friendship speech.
One of them is transgender operations on illegal aliens in prison.
That'd be fun, then.
This is something Trump brought up as if, you know, regular people would hear that and go,
oh, yeah.
Nice
Trump
word,
said that,
you've got...
Trump said that, Biden and Harris are doing transgender surgery.
Oh yes, yes. Illegal immigrants are performing transgender surgeries on illegal immigrants in prison.
And of course,
what the fuck?
Haitians are eating cats and animals and all
Then,
that.
Yeah.
When in reality,
that was from the first person
to do
that was a
what are you talking about? It's like conservative
that one was being first propagated by a literal neo-Nazi.
What do you expect? He's a Nazi. Are you surprised?
No.
Let's see.
He didn't even get it right. That's the worst. That's the funniest part. He stuffed it up.
And let's see.
The wrong animal. It was
still denied, and
he said cats instead of cats and geese.
And he still denied he lost in 2020, and he still denied he was responsible January 6th. He started getting into racist crap against Kamala, of course, as always.
As many people pointed out on Twitter when he said it.
Call her a slur,
so there was that moment
misogynistic slur
on the issue of healthcare. Trump said, "I have concepts of a plan." He was asked, "What's your plan?" He goes, "I have concepts of a plan." That's going to go down in history as an epic flop. There's the very famous. This is probably the biggest moment. They're eating cats and they're eating dogs.
Which we're going to get to later on tonight.
They're eating the pets, guys. You guys might know what he meant. Because you're brain poisoned and I'm brain poisoned and we all have.
And I hear conservatives cry about every day on Twitter, which is going to be the last topic we're going to talk about.
86% of the people watching that debate are like, what the fuck is he babbling about? What does that mean? By the way, this is a literal fake news story.
You Nazis are trembling online like brain dead leftists.
A racist fake news story where they're leaning into Haitian immigrants are eating pets. And there's this epidemic of Haitian immigrants. Total nonsense.
Let's be
not true
racist
at all.
as hell.
Absolutely absurd. And guys, this is what happens when you surround yourself with idiots like Corey Lewandowski and Laura Loomer. Laura Loomer.
What is it with Laura being such a common far-right trad-con woman name? Like,
and
stop.
Don Jr.
Tarnishing the name.
Elon Musk. They're all
stop using Laura these times.
You see what's happening on Twitter in our right-wing bubble? What's happening? Tell me what's happening. Then they tell him, then he runs with it. Nobody knows what the fuck you're talking about. You're in a right-wing cesspool. You guys sound like freaks. You're totally disconnected and detached. In 2016, Trump had the rhetoric of a populist sometimes. Trump was able on economic issues to tap into some
weird because we're evil and demonic and evil and satanic.
But wait, Pokemon Yu-Gi-Oh! Are evil and demonic and satanic.
Guys, in this instance, he doesn't have it anymore. It's gone. There's not a populist bone left in his body. He also called her a Marxist and said the U.S. is going to be Venezuela on steroids under her. Absurd. He said that Democrats are executing babies. He denied the 2020 election. Again, I got videos on a lot of this stuff coming up, so bear with me. We got a lot of stuff to get to in a little bit.
Oh yeah, I don't know if Kyle covered, but they got him and the Trumpsters got so mad on Twitter because the moderators were fact-checking him left and right because he kept saying wrong things over and over and over again, and their meltdowns were hilarious.
On the issue of Israel, this was interesting because Kamala did her regular same thing she said every time she brings up Israel, both side stuff. We need self-determination for Palestinians. We need a two-state solution, but also I'm always going to defend Israel and protect Israel and give them the right to defend themselves.
Which is unfortunate.
AKA, I'm going to keep sending weapons. Lane is wide open for Trump to go in there and dunk on her as, I'm pro-peace, she's pro-war, I'm pro-peace. I'm going to get us a deal, I'm going to get it quick, we're going to stop the bloodshed, too many Palestinians are dying, we're going to stop it. He couldn't do it. What does he do?
Because
he
he's
goes
an
to
idiot.
Kamala's right, to her right.
He
and
can't
says
stop
she
being
hates
stupid.
Israel, and if she wins,
That's
Israel
why we
won't
laugh
exist in
at
2
him.
years.
Yep, because they love
God.
laughing at him.
Look, in 2016, Trump was smart enough on certain issues to realize, let me not be a right-wing ideologue, and let me, where it's convenient, pivot to the Democrats' left and make it look like, hey, I'm a populist. I'm with the people's take on it.
Yeah, and also doesn't help the fact that, I don't know, you're facing Hillary, and also you never ran for president before, so people thought you were a wild card and just dismissed all the terrible things you said.
Yes. He doesn't have that anymore, man. He doesn't.
You don't have Hillary
on the issue
anymore,
of healthcare,
and you don't have the wild card
he
anymore.
accused
We know
Kamala
what you were.
of
I mean, we already
Biden
knew.
universal
either.
health
We
care.
already knew what he was going to be. Well, a lot of others didn't. I don't know how they didn't see it when we saw it. But he exposed himself.
First of all, I wish she was still in favor of Medicare for all. She's not. In fact, she never was. She was just
She
lying
never
about what
has
she said she
been
was.
and never
I wish she
will
was in favor
be.
Because we never believed
of a
her.
public option. She's not. You know what she's in favor of? Expanding Obamacare, covering a couple more million people with some more subsidies. That's what she's in favor of. But what does he do? He goes, she wants Medicare for all. She wants universal health care.
Trump,
she wants
why
to
you
cover
gotta make
everybody.
her sound good when we know she's
like-
not?
You idiot. In 2016, Trump said to 60 Minutes during an interview that, I'm going to give everybody health care, and the government's going to pay for it.
Still
This is what he
hasn't
said
happened.
back then. Now, of course, he didn't do that. He didn't do that at all. Tried to repeal Obamacare, and he proposed a healthcare bill that literally had a 17% approval rating because fewer people would get covered and protections for pre-existing conditions would be gone. But
if only his approval rating was like that, so he wouldn't win again.
Hey, this is an area where I can say I want to give everybody healthcare and point out she doesn't. No, he can't do it because his brain is poisoned. It's poisoned by Twitter. It's poisoned by Fox News.
And
it's
he's
poisoned
just
by
stupid.
grievance. On the issue of Afghanistan,
Exactly,
Trump again can't help himself.
He's as dumb
Hammers
as furry
Kamala
retard
for
plays
pulling out
Pokemon.
of Afghanistan with Biden.
Yes!
So what does Kamala say when she's asked about it? She goes,
Imagine
"No, pulling out was the right
facing
thing."
Cynthia with free
It will almost never
Gastrodon
be the
on
right
your
thing.
team.
And I defend that, and I stand by that.
And then
yes,
rage
thank
quit when
you.
you lose.
Fucking stand by it, defend it. This is the right thing to do.
Roserade's tweet.
And then what she did is she flipped it and said, you know what the main problem was with the
That's why
withdrawal?
you call her cunt
You,
for that.
Trump, negotiated to
I can imagine
release
he
like
would.
hundreds or thousands
hates
of
women.
Taliban members, and then those are the people who
Yeah.
came and
Because
overthrew
again,
the
he's a
government that we had there.
Nazi, so...
And he's
Oh my
bad
God, she's killing
Pokemon.
him. She's killing him.
Yep.
She's killing him.
Can't play Pokemon because he's
On
an
abortion,
idiot.
she absolutely clocked his ass.
Yeah, no
Here's
shit,
my
Kamala
one
won.
criticism-
Like, she didn't even really need to try. Like, it was so obvious. The only reason Biden even lost to people's eyes because he was just so brain dead like Trump.
Of Kamala, I
It's
would
because
say
he was dead.
I know that her advisors are telling her lean into being a moderate, lean into being a centrist, lean into.
Oh, yeah. Haven't you noticed, too? No one has been covering really yet how Biden is... I mean, not the Biden. Trump is now too old to run. He's brain dead. They sure
Yes.
did a lot with Biden for some reason, even though Trump has the same problems.
Exactly.
It shows that, like I said, it was never about the age. It was just a convenient excuse to go after Biden.
To be
and never
a
Trump.
unifier, lead
Yeah.
to,
I
hey,
do.
we welcome everybody in this
Biden, I
campaign,
mean,
and that
Trump
is what
is
she's
too
doing.
old and brain
But
dead to run. How about that?
You can also lean
Exactly.
into the Tim Walz economic agenda, which is the most popular in the country.
You
She
can't
didn't bring
be
up
a
free school meals
shuckle.
for kids. She didn't bring up paid family
Exactly.
leave.
Walz is a
And I need
shuckle.
them to understand that
and
it's
he's
not
on the hunt
electoral
for a
poison.
level 1 blitzy coming up.
This would help you massively in the campaign
Yep.
to lean into.
Level
we're
one
going to do free school meals for
snob
kids
who's had
because then
his-
it baits the
who's had
Republicans
all
into
debuffs at it.
attacking free meals for kids. It baits Republicans into attacking paid time off. So they're
Based
staying away from that. They
walls.
shouldn't, but that was probably my biggest
How can anyone
criticism
hate him?
of Kamala. But even on
Dumb
issues
dumb
like the
leftists
border,
do that too.
where
Yep,
Trump
'cause they're
has a natural
retarded.
built-in advantage according to the polls, it's his strongest issue in the polls. Even on that, he self-destructed. He self-destructed. So first of all, Kamala said, "Watch him bring up abortion like a million times, even when the question is
And
not
he
about
did.
abortion."
Because
Then
he's
Trump
a
went on to do
Karen.
exactly that. It's
Yeah.
literally like the Chris Christie, Marco Rubio moment from the last election, where Chris Christie said, "Look, he's got a 30-second memorized speech, and he's going to regurgitate it no matter what anybody says." And then Marco Rubio goes on to regurgitate the speech again, and Chris Christie's
Yep.
like, "See, I told you." Devastating.
He did it
The
3
same
times
thing-
in a
the same
row,
thing. He's going to
remember?
talk about immigration.
I remember that.
Even when immigration is not the question.
And that
And then
killed
Trump goes on
Rubio's
to do that. And by the way, her rebuttal was exactly the thing that I thought it was going to be on immigration. Look, you attack us like we're in favor of open borders. I got bad news for you. We wanted to do the bipartisan border bill that was endorsed by the Border
Democrats
Patrol.
do
Kill
your
it.
guys'
Border Patrol
policies,
agents
and you
there,
all lie about
And
it.
you called your Republican friend and said, kill it, because it'll
That's
hurt me
They
politically.
Killed,
So you care
killed
more
it
about
because
yourself and your...
Trump told him to.
Yeah, like
Told
we
them
told you
to.
all back when this happened back in March, whatever. You all had the bill you won, and you all said no. You got everything you want because the orangutan is an idiot.
campaign than the country. You don't want to solve the problem. And his reaction? So, listen, man. One of the worst debate beatdowns I've ever seen.
Yeah.
It was brutal. It was brutal.
It was as brutal as when the Dolphins
I
got
think it's going to
crushed
hurt
by
him.
the
And now,
Bills last
look,
night.
here's what's going to happen.
Yeah.
The breaking
Tua
points crew made
throwing
this point.
3
and
picks.
it's
Let's
such a
go.
great point, and it didn't occur to me.
Yeah.
And then
Now
he
what's
gets a
gonna happen
concussion
is
too again.
All of the people who helped prep him for
Exactly.
this debate, has to be the fall guy. Somebody has to be the scapegoat. So Trump,
You're the scapegoat. It's your fault, pal. Stop
Yeah.
blaming others for your fuck up. You fucked up. Own it. But of course you can't
is
because
going
you're
to
a grifting
blame
cunt.
certain people in his sphere,
Let
probably
me
President
throw
my
Savita
ape
again,
shit
or
at
Tulsi
someone.
Gabbard, who is helping him with this. But what'll happen is the most
I'll throw it like
sycophantic
Mr.
of the people
Garrison.
in Trump's circle, now Trump will take their word over anybody
Eric,
else.
did you just take a crap
So in
on
other
my
words,
desk?
it's a self-perpetuating problem. So now he's going to get more extreme because he failed in the debate. He'll push away all the critics, bring in the sycophants.
Because
they'll give
he's
him bad
stupid.
advice.
Let's go.
He'll get more
Yeah,
extreme and he'll go
because
down
he's a
further in the polls.
total
This is a
moron.
vicious cycle
Like all
for him, bro.
conservatives are
He's
stupid.
in
Let's
real
go.
trouble. He's already out there
Yeah.
throwing a tantrum after the fact. You know how the right knows they lost? They're yelling at the moderators and blaming the moderators. And by the way, to be clear, did the moderators do some fact checking?
Save
Yes.
more.
The reason they did fact checking is because Trump told
Stop being
preposterous,
stupid. You
absurd
wouldn't get-
lies that
and
they
you wouldn't
couldn't let
get,
slide.
fact checked all the
Oh,
time.
you guys didn't fact check them equally.
Exactly.
They didn't
because
fucking lie
Kamala
equally.
didn't
They didn't
lie
lie
all the
equally,
time.
so
You
you
dumb
can't.
shits.
The person who tells the most
Exactly.
absurd lies is the one who's going to get the most fact checks. So the right is melting down and
Like, the worst you could probably say about Kamala is maybe she said stuff that might have been misleading or something like that, which there was some fact checks
Exactly.
on stuff she said.
Yeah.
But what
Yeah.
Trump said was, like, so obviously incorrect, they can't just leave alone. He still denied that he lost the election. He still denied he wasn't involved with January 6th. He said,
Yeah.
and of course, remember, Democrats do abortion after birth and all that. The Haitian migrants and all that. Like,
yeah.
all just this
Yeah.
complete crap. That
blaming
has
the refs.
no base in
Exactly.
reality.
it ain't the refs' fault. That was actually a very well moderated debate.
I wish
Because
they kept doing
moderators
it
actually
again.
cared about
ABC for
truth
the win.
and asked good
Because
questions.
that guy
Yeah.
that did the
Your
debate
candidate
is
just
me.
lies a lot,
In
which
fact, he was the one who covered the Do you remember when we covered back in April the shootout, that police shootout in Charlotte? He was the one who was
Yes.
covering it.
his ass
Ah.
got checked.
He's based
So you know the right knows they lost because
like a
they're blaming.
journalist is
That is
supposed to
exactly.
be.
Anyway,
Yeah.
so look, I'll wrap this segment up now. This is my general breakdown, but we're going to get into
This is just a
they're
preview of
eating the
what
dogs.
Balls will
I'm going to
do
show you
in
that clip. We're
October.
going to react to
Yeah.
that. We're going to get into Kamala's
My
specific
body
comments
is
on
ready for
abortion.
500 million
We're going to get into
damage.
a specific moment from the debate,
Balls get
which
that
I
charged
think
up,
we might
throw
end
out
up
with
looking
the
back
bent
on and
curl,
saying this is the
freaking,
moment Trump lost the
helping
election.
hand and all that good stuff.
I know that's a bold
Yeah.
claim, but believe me, there's reason to believe this is devastating for his campaign. One
It's
specific
funny.
moment
Yeah.
where you might be able to
It's
pinpoint.
hilarious.
Oh, let's talk elections. Just covered a poll recently. That one poll he covered, North Carolina, Kamala now has a 5-point lead.
Oh yeah.
This is where he lost the 2024 election. Then we'll get into the healthcare thing. Trump saying, I have concepts of a plan. Kamala calls Trump a criminal to his face. And then more insane moments from it. You're not going to want to miss any of it. So subscribe.
Unfortunately, it's too much, though. We just covered it right
Keep
there. But
dropping.
oh my gosh, that was funny. So we got to say about that. Kamala winning by doing absolutely nothing, Luigi style. Yay.
Yes. Epic.
And we got to say about Trump's
That was
complete
epic.
meltdown. Hey, guys.
Yes.
He was the Panthers when they played the Saints in Week 1. They lost 47-10. Trump, you're
Ouch.
Bryce Young. You're the one who throws 2 picks out of nowhere like that. Because you're suck, just like he does.
Yes.
Fucking idiot. That was hilarious. watching afterwards, and it's just a preview of the best one to come. Oh, here comes that almighty Shuckle. Vance, we told you, we warned you for months. Don't fuckle with the Shuckle. Oh, he's gonna fuck with the Shuckle, and he's dead from the rollout. 500 million damage.
He's been reduced to the
pixel.
strings that make up the subatomic particles that make up the atoms that make up his body.
Oh, damn, just obliterated. Alright, after that funny stuff, what's next?
Is the Bernie to Trump pipeline real?
Another base Calvio did recently. So, of course, this has been covered, we've been covered somewhat for years. Is there a Bernie to Trump pipeline? And what we're referring to, are there a lot of Bernie bros over the last few years that have become Trumpsters? Because that's been an accusation that Bernie doesn't get, he just...
A few.
Yeah.
There's been a few.
And you remember that was a big criticism against Bernie because all his supporters are conservatives. We don't want them in the Democratic Party, which was complete crap and all that. And also, don't you want conservatives to join our side? Like a whole bunch.
Exactly.
Like Kamala's gotten recently like 200 Republican endorsements, including freaking Liz and Dick Cheney of all people.
Yeah. Oh, did you hear about the meltdown that Dawes reaction?
Yep, which we might get to when we laugh about it, but yeah.
Yep.
So, this is something, of course, we both had to realize over the last month or so, especially after Walz became vice president, that a lot of people on the left really are exposing themselves as contrarians and grifters. Like, when you finally... Like, I'm like the best example of this. I didn't vote for Hillary because she sucked. I didn't vote for Biden because he sucked. If Bernie was a nominee, I would vote for him easily. If AOC was a nominee, although I think she would lose, I would still support her. And Walz is based. I'm happy he was picked. And then think of the long game people. Kamala wins, then runs to 2028 wins. Walz could run 2032. We could finally have a progressive in like 8 years. It's right there for us. And guess what? Unless he somehow shits the bed really badly, I'm supporting him still. But there were so many idiots on the left that don't support him, absolutely hate him, have a complete meltdown. Funny enough, they vote shame people now for who want to vote for Kamala for whatever reasons they do.
Wow.
And the comment is, you support genocide and all that. That's why you should support Jill Stein. Jill Stein doesn't support Ukrainians, so she's in cahoots with a genocide too. They get mad when I say that to them.
We're not supposed to she turned out to be a Russian asset too.
Yeah, like, guys, you're just as guilty as Democrats that vote shame you too. Like, you're not, like, special and all that. And something I had to learn over the last few months and such. And, like, when these people say they also wouldn't vote for Bernie if he was nominated, like, why? He's perfect, pretty much.
Then you're not a leftist. I'm sorry, you are not a leftist.
You're not a serious progressive. You're just not. Like, come on, dude. When you get a progressive, you gotta vote for them. Like, stop. So, yeah. Kyle did an awesome video on this. And, oh my god, he pissed off all those idiots, especially Jimmy Dore. Oh my goodness! He had a complete meltdown, which I would love if we played, but the video's gone too long enough so we can't. But man, his meltdown was hilarious. Everyone thought it was so stupid. But yeah, Kyle's video was awesome. He explained like all the reasons why, and all of them resonate very well. So let's get into this.
All right, y'all, welcome to the show.
Classic
I got a great
2-minute video, and I already know it's 2 minutes.
And Israel, of course, is hell-bent.
Here we go, 2 minutes, like I said.
Endorse Trump. I mean, she kind of did already.
Oh, yeah, of course, we start off with Tulsi Gabbard. Remember, guys, in 2016, she supported Bernie. And in 2020, remember all the shit she got from idiot, like, neo-lib Democrats that said she was never going to support Biden, and she did?
Yes, I remember that.
Exposing them once again at the idiots they were. But now, unfortunately, of course, as we expected, she's endorsed Trump recently. And there's rumors that she was involved with debate prep with Trump in this last debate recently.
In the recent past. But she also, like, they made a big show of it. They they did a rally together, and Tulsi gave a little bit of a speech, and then Trump came out and spoke, and so she endorsed him, and she's, like, enthusiastically supporting him. I wouldn't be surprised if she ends up joining him on the campaign trail.
And she
so
did,
this
of course.
happened just the other day. And what you're seeing a lot of now on Twitter, it's comments like this, right? This person's actually being pretty nice about it. But they say, what a journey. And you can see here, Tulsi Gabbard saying, why I'm endorsing Bernie Sanders for president, right? Why I'm endorsing Bernie Sanders for president. And then over here, that was all the way back in what, 2015, 2016? And then over here, Tulsi Gabbard endorses Trump for president. The claim that's being made by a lot of people, as they see this happen, and they see RFK Jr. endorse Trump, they're saying, look, this proves...
Oh, yeah. Speaking of which, too, RFK Jr., I found out, did the exact same thing as Tulsi. He supported Bernie back in 2016. And then I think supported Biden in 20. And now supports Trump now after his failed election run.
Horseshoe theory is real. So, in other words, the far right and the far left kind of meet up on the political spectrum.
And are equally stupid.
But also remember that there comes a point when you're going up the authoritarian side where left and right just becomes meaningless. It's just authoritarianism.
This is viewed as not only evidence of the horseshoe theory being real, but some people are going far as to say it's proof.
Or them wanting a unipolar
okay, so let's break this down in a couple different ways, and I'll tell you where I think this phenomenon
like Carl slips into
unfortunately he does.
When he believes that America should basically become a hermit state.
Kyle, come on. You're better than this.
The high-profile examples of what you call the Bernie to Trump pipeline. Tulsi Gabbard is a great example. RFK Jr. is a great example. He endorsed Bernie Sanders in 2016.
Door's another one.
In the primary. But he did in 2016. He, of course, endorsed Trump this time around.
Jackson Dinkelberg,
of course, too. Some high-profile media figures who have effectively gone from Bernie Sanders back in the day to Donald Trump now. People that come to mind, Jimmy Dore, Matt Taibbi. He had a tweet the other day where he said, every time somebody calls me racist, sexist, or whatever, fill in the blank, I'll donate $1 to Trump. And you
know what else? Although I don't think he supported Bernie, elongated Musgrave himself. He went, just so you know, back in like 2018, because I saw earlier this morning on Twitter, someone posted that he was actually hardcore pro-gay rights and trans rights back in 2018. And now look at him.
And now he's a Nazi.
You have Russell Brand, of course. He also sort of...
Russell Brand's now religious fundamentalist cunt.
His path. And
the
first point I want to make...
He's now a terrorist.
I'm just glad I never got the appeal of him compared to others.
Reaction to this is
Neither did I.
What the consistent trend you see through all of these people who did this is that...
Also, he's a sexual harasser if you look at the allegations, remember?
These are either politician types, right? So like high-profile people who have a name in the public, like Tulsi Gabbard and RFK Jr., or like, you can say activist-y too, that's RFK Jr., or they're media figures like Jimmy Dore, Matt Taibbi, Russell Brand, comedians, talk show hosts, investigative or independent reporters or journalists or whatever you want to call somebody like Matt Taibbi. And this phenomenon is not nearly as common among regular people, among working people, among the voting population. And in fact, there's data to sort of back this up. So, for example, in 2016, only 12% of Bernie supporters who voted for him in the primary ended up voting for Trump in the general election. 12%. Now, you might hear that and say, well, I mean, look, that's 1 out of 10. That's a pretty high number. But you have to compare it to others. So, for example, 28% of Hillary Clinton supporters who were with her in the 2008 primary over Barack Obama, 28% of them ended up voting for McCain in the general election.
And Obama still won the blowout.
Right? So we're talking more than double. And the other point to make is, when it comes to RFK Jr. and when it comes to Tulsi Gabbard in particular, these are people who, they supported Bernie in 2016, but they supported Joe Biden in 2020, right? And, you don't see much of people saying, this is the centrist to right-wing pipeline, because these people supported Biden in the most recent election, and now they're supporting Trump. So, nobody says,
because it's also to go after Bernie and progressives, as we all know.
Centrist to right-wing pipeline, but you could probably dig up just as many examples, if not more examples statistically, of people who were more centrist-type liberals who then end up going to the right. So that's the first point, okay, that this is more of an issue among high-profile individuals, media figures, activists, politicians. It seems to happen more with them than it does among the regular voting population, right? So it's not as much of an ironclad rule. It's not as much of a trend as you would think based off these high-profile examples. Okay. Now, having said that, why? Why are these people doing what they're doing? What's with their political transformation? Well, look, I spent a lot of time thinking about this, and I think there are a number of answers to it. So first of all, I do sense that with a lot of these people, there's this contrarianism to the mainstream, right? They feel...
Yeah, contrarianism is very big. Ultimate example, Michael fucking Tracy. The ultimate example of a contrarian.
Feel like, I'm going to be different.
Whatever the
I'm going to be
mainstream media
contrarian.
says, they'll
if
be
I
the
feel
exact
like,
opposite.
mainstream media or popular culture
you're
is
still
going
there,
in
don't
one
hear you
direction,
talking.
I'm going to be a sore thumb, and I'm going to stick out, and I'm going to be contrarian. There's also some semblance of, like, edginess gets eyeballs, right? There's a sense of, if I do this, I'm being edgy.
Yeah, it's also about getting attention, which of course also relates back to grifting, which I think Kyle will get to. All about getting attention, which leads to potentially getting money. So of course, oh, that's right, another thing Kyle will also get up to in a moment too.
With some of these characters, I think this is undeniable, especially when it comes to people like RFK and Tulsi Gabbard, where they basically burn their bridges on the Democratic side. So there's this element of careerism and opportunism where they try to stay relevant. If your team turns on you, well then to stay relevant, you don't have a future on the Democratic side anymore. That's obvious because they despise you. So what do? They do the logical thing from a career and opportunistic perspective, which is, all right, maybe the other side will welcome me with open arms. If I start being the voice that says, I'm a leftist and Trump is right about everything. And then the other thing, for the media figures in particular, of course, I think a big factor here is, look, they generating clicks. You want to generate clicks. And this is a lane that is clearly very profitable. I think right-wing voters they love the idea of a transition story, right? Not involving trans people, of course, but they love the idea of a political transition story of like, I was with them, but now I'm with you, and I can tell you all the inner workings of the other side and how evil and bad and wrong and nefarious they are. Because I was in the belly of the beast. We saw this with Dave Rubin, for example. I think that's a big part of it. I think just generating clicks, and then also connected to that is eventually audience capture, right? Eventually audience capture. I
Dore
remember
is
a
the
while
most
ago,
obvious example of this.
there was a video where Jimmy Dore, now remember, his posture for a very long time is like, look, I'm a lefty, and I'm to the left of the Democrats, and I'm going to criticize the Democrats from their left. For a long time, that was his shtick. And I remember he released a video where he was criticizing the Biden administration because at that time there were some really bad videos coming out of the southern border where like the Border Patrol were beating the shit out of, people trying to cross the border or whatever it was, or it had something to do with somebody on a horse or whatever. The details are kind of irrelevant, but he did a video basically saying like, look at this, look at how extreme this is. The Democrats are exactly like Trump. This is not the way to go about the border. And then when you look at his comment section, he got way more dislikes than he normally would on the video. When you read his comment section, since he had been bashing the Democrats so much for so long, his comment section was just full of right-wingers who in this instance were like, no, fuck those immigrants. The Border Patrol is right, and you're wrong, Jimmy.
And another example of this was back in like 2023, if y'all remember, when conservatives were obsessed with like DEI and all like the history of like blacks in American history and all that. What was the term again? Critical race theory. I haven't heard that in so long.
Yes.
Dore, remember, back in 23, also did a video making fun of conservatives crying about critical race theory and books
I
and all
remember
that.
And
the conservatives had a complete
views.
meltdown in the comment section. And after that, he never talked about it again. Audience capture. Mm-hmm. He'll do whatever his audience says because they're the ones that are paying him. And the same goes for Breonna Joy Gray, another grifter.
Yeah.
And then from then, he didn't mention the border for a very long time because he knew it pissed off his audience. And then the next time he did end up bringing up the border, all of a sudden now he's a border hawk, right? And he wants to crack down on the border.
And also now he's supporting Trump too, which of course more proof of being a grifter.
And it's not the left-wing criticism that in the past he would have made. And so I think that's a perfect example of audience capture, where now you realize, okay, I've crafted this audience for myself, and I need to feed them what they want to hear, right? So that's another example
that's
of
the problem.
When you should be objective, like Kyle is, where he'll say
most of the time.
Yeah, most of the time will be correct, even if the audience, and sometimes even us, don't like it, except the one issue where he is absolutely wrong on.
Why they end up taking this path. The other thing is, look, with a lot of these people, they have taken anti-establishment politics. They've taken that kind of thinking to the extreme of now believing that anything that's the opposite of the establishment is correct by default.
Yeah, like contrarian,
right?
like I
so
mentioned
one
earlier,
good example of this is
crazy.
like every lefty you meet is going to be anti-big pharma because of the profit margins, because of the price gouging, because, you know, the government invests
make it difficult for people
upfront in the research and development to create these drugs. Then the drug companies swoop in, buy up the patent rights, and sell it back to everybody and price gouge the shit out of them. So every reasonable lefty is anti-big pharma, and they want to see reform. And, you know, in my opinion, I want to see it nationalized, but other people might want to do more antitrust approach and like break up the big pharma companies. But either way, everybody on the left is one extent or another anti-big pharma. But with this crowd, oftentimes it goes from I'm anti-big pharma, and they cross the line into I'm just anti-modern medicine, right? Like I'm anti-vaccine, for example.
Unfortunately.
And that is the mindset of...
Yes, again, another one is a unipolar world under China.
And remember, that's why he left last, because he had his meltdown when Sean did that video on Jimmy Dore.
Anti-establishment.
Yep,
then now I'm just going to assume the exact opposite of whatever the...
Sean is a member of the CIA.
Establishment
like
says.
everyone who
and
disagrees with
into some
Jimmy
pretty
Dore
fucking
is.
stupid places.
Because the CIA is omnipotent, omnipresent, and it's basically omnipotent and omnipresent. Yep.
Everywhere.
Omnipotent,
Alternative medicine
omniscient,
is
and
actually
omnipresent.
better and helps people
You got up
more
on the wrong side of the bed this morning? The CIA put him on the wrong side of the bed.
Medicine, because the double-blind study research medicine happens to be sold by a big pharma company. So now the criticism is no longer, hey, the medicine works, but you're price gouging people, and that's bad. Now the criticism is the medicine just doesn't work, and you're poisoning people on purpose, right?
Yeah, that's complete cap. You can be against big pharma and all that, but you gotta accept the fact that vaccines work. Hundreds of years of studies showing that they work and all that. You gotta just accept it. It was so obvious.
Another example of this thinking,
just
taking the anti-establishment mindset to an extreme.
Oh my god, if this is true...
Oh no.
Oh
no, what did you find?
Donald Trump... so I just found this out on Dusty's Discord server. If this is true, Donald Trump, it is rumored, is having an affair with Laura Loomer.
I would not be surprised. Oh yeah, another thing too about the debate, I forgot to mention too. Now he's trying to cower his way out of debating Kamala again. You fucking idiot.
I remember
position would be... I'm against mainstream media, right? And every reasonable person on the left is, to one extent or another, against mainstream media.
You gotta be against mainstream media when they actually are wrong, though. That's the thing.
Yes.
Because sometimes they are correct, and you gotta accept it.
They think they do a poor job, etc. Profit motive is an issue, yada, yada. All that stuff is true. But they take the default opposite perspective, which is, well, actually, I think Alex Jones is much more reliable than mainstream media.
I remember.
And that's just fundamentally not true. In fact, it's one of the dumbest fucking things I've ever heard in my life.
Jones is right because
if you look
he
at
says
the accuracy rate of the stuff mainstream media says versus Alex Jones, mainstream media is going to be right a way higher percentage of the time than fucking Alex Jones. Who's a liar, right? I mean, this guy literally says he thought Hillary Clinton and Barack Obama are little demons, and one of them smells like sulfur, and look, a fly landed on Barack Obama, therefore he's fucking Baphomet or whatever. The shit he says. And then provably untrue things.
Like when
and people just act like,
had to keep
no, we don't need to fact check him.
He
just let him do his thing. And then what they do is take the kernels, the rare instances where he's right, and go, see, he's more trustworthy than mainstream media. That's taking anti-establishment politics to the dumbest possible conclusion, because your default perspective is the establishment must be wrong in all circumstances. And then beyond that, with some of these characters, not with all of them, with some of them, I think there's an element of accelerationism, right? The idea that, hey, in order to get left-wing victories, you have to burn it all down to build something fresh and new. And then if that is your perspective, you could see how somebody who's nominally on the left would take the position, well, Trump will lead to the system burning all down faster, and we can have a revolution after that and fix everything. Therefore, we're going to go in that direction. But again, I think that's just acceleration.
I sympathize with that somewhat, but you shouldn't also advocate for it here because
yeah,
you don't
because
want Trump to win, period.
That's horrible on optics. Absolutely horrible.
Brianna Joy Gray is the obvious example of this, and of course, Revolutionary Blackout Network now on Twitter recently. They're all.
I remember when she was debating getting ruffle stomped by Kyle and Crystal, and literally Kyle went over all these policies, and all these things that Biden did that was good. She was dunlocked for a full 7 seconds, and then went straight back to her NPC talking point about
we covered
the student loan forgiveness.
Like I sympathize somewhat because I do think if Trump won again, I think it would make him look. It would hurt the Republicans so badly that they would never be able to win again. Progressives we can then bash liberals over the head, show them, see, we tried your candidate multiple times, they lose, you need to vote for progressives. I think that would work, but I would still never support Trump because I think acceleration might work. You still gotta be against him no matter what, for crying out loud, people. Like, come on.
I think is just an idiotic position. I think there's zero.
Or at least not be like so hardcore, like supportive of it. Maybe acknowledge maybe it could help, but not like fully endorse it.
When Republicans get in there and they make things worse, usually what happens is that drags the Democrats further to the right on the spectrum, and things keep getting worse and worse and worse. It's never the case that, it got so bad that everything collapsed, and now we can create a socialist utopia out of that. That doesn't fucking happen. All the evidence you need is during the George W. Bush administration. Right? Started 2 illegal wars, did tax cuts for the rich, dragged the spectrum to the right, and it wasn't so bad that everything collapsed and then the Democrats came in and ushered in a utopia. No, it just dragged the Democrats further to the right. And you see the same thing under the Trump administration.
As Trump was.
It's just not a correct theory to say, let's go for the worst candidate so everything implodes, then we'll magically build something new and fresh and it'll work even better. That never fucking happens. That never happens. And then finally, and this
of course, I know it's hindsight, but at the time, Bush was so bad, we got Obama, and we all thought it was going to be like the next FDR for a while. So at the time, it did seem like it worked.
Probably the biggest factor. I saved it for the end. Why do these people do what they do? Why do they end up taking the position?
And I mean, there is another way you can look at this too. Trump doing the fucked up things he did is helping progressives and Democrats right now, like when he got rid of Roe v. Wade. That actively killed all Republican progress forever, pretty much. Because remember, before Roe v. Wade was overturned, that Republicans were on track to easily win the House and Senate. But then afterwards, their election results tanked. Just like Trump's results tanked. Like, he did so many bad things, it actually hurt him to the point where Democrats are by default going to have an advantage on that. So that's some argument people could make for accelerationism in that regard.
And they end up taking, why did they effectively go from a Bernie Sanders supporter to a Donald Trump supporter? This answer is very straightforward. They hate liberals. They hate liberals.
Yep.
They hate Democrats. And that is, honestly, in many instances, the core of a lot of these people's politics. They just have a seething hatred for liberals and Democrats. Now, look, here's the thing. And I'd be curious to know what Bernie thinks about this. Because Bernie Sanders, he always was the kind of politician where he would take a lot of time shitting on the Republicans and their policies and saying how bad the policies are, right? And talking about the substantive issues. But there were many instances with Bernie Sanders' rallies and speeches and interviews where Bernie would levy reasonable and strong-worded criticism against fellow Democrats.
And they got so mad that they would rig the primaries against him.
For basically agreeing too much with the Republicans, doing neoliberal policies instead of progressive policies. And I think what happened with a lot of these characters who went from Bernie to Trump is they hyper-focus on Bernie's criticism of Democrats. And then they end up doing the same thing, but that's like all of their commentary and all of their thought process is, look at how fucking terrible the Democrats are.
Specifically.
And they don't do what Bernie does, where Bernie... you
go after
pairs
everyone,
that together with clearly explaining the Republicans are even worse.
You have a party
they're even more extreme. Here's the fucked up things they do. But I do have some criticism from my side, from the Democratic side. These people just take the
pretty much.
Like a lot of liberals are really stupid and, of course, very right wing. And the Democratic Party sucks. But I think Kyle will also get into this too. The progressives are still going to go to the Democratic Party. If there's progressives in the Democratic Party, you have to support them no matter what. For crying out loud.
Exactly. Which is what a lot of these types don't do.
Like Bernie. He's not a Democrat. or AOC. Hey, and who knows in the future? Walls. And who knows, guys?
Yeah.
Maybe Kamala could be a progressive for all we know. Like, remember Biden? I've said this before. Last year when we did the thing with Breonna Joy Gray. When Biden won, I thought not only would he not do anything progressive, I thought he was going to on purpose do like far right stuff as like a fuck you to us. But he did a lot of progressive things. He did a lot of horrible shit too, but he also did a lot of progressive things. He did things that I didn't think he was at all going to do. So who knows? Maybe she'll surprise us for all we know. Maybe at sometimes people and there's another progressive YouTuber I saw the other night covering these people that will never vote for Kamala no matter what. He made the argument that Kamala can't say a lot of stuff that we want, like when it comes to Israel, because it'll hurt her chances to win, which I don't agree with. But if she wins and becomes president, she signaled she might change on that. She's
good.
Like she might be lying about her position right now and is actually progressive, but will say the right wing thing until she gets in power and all that. But of course, she's not president. And of course, people keep bringing up she's in power and all that. She's still the vice president. She doesn't have full power on anything. She's like, Biden still is in charge of everything. She can't do anything. When she's president, however, maybe she'll change, but until she wins, however, we'll have to wait and see. And again, you still have walls. You should be happy with that at least.
Criticisms that Bernie made against Democrats, and that becomes their whole politics. That there's always criticism for liberals and Democrats. There's always a way of saying they're liars and they're nefarious and they're bad people. And they just memory hole all of the stuff said by Bernie and all the objectively correct stuff about how Republicans have fucking even more abysmal politics, right?
But they never talk about what Republicans do.
It has become, I just fucking hate liberals. That's my politics. I just fucking hate Democrats. They're hypocrites, they're bad people, they're nefarious, they said this, they did that, and it's like super scrutinizing everything any Democrat has ever done ever.
So far, all that.
But then they act totally credulous with Republicans,
but yeah,
right? So
like,
in other words,
if you agree with you when it comes to Democrats, but then you don't talk about the Republicans. Like, come on,
somebody like J.D. Vance who comes out and says,
"Oh God, Kyle's gonna get this part too. Oh my God, I've seen this with Breonna Joy Gray and a whole bunch of other people. J.D. Vance and other Republicans will lie and say like a progressive thing. They'll be like, oh, see, J.D. Vance a progressive, oh."
Yes, I remember. I remember when he said. Martin Gore said Marjorie Taylor Greene is more progressive than Alexandria and Sandy Cortez.
And then of course they'll be like, oh. When Democrats do this thing, they're like, no, they don't actually believe this. They're trying to steal J.D. Vance's fame and all that. No, J.D. Vance doesn't care about that issue. He is lying. The Dems are probably lying too, but you're going to find more people in the Democratic Party are willing to support what we want, where Republicans don't support us, period.
I want to extend the child tax credit.
You believe their rhetoric over their actions.
And do $5,000, make it even higher.
Whereas you believe... And sometimes, too, also for Democrats, you believe their rhetoric over their actions. If when they do something good, you dismiss it.
Here. This group of people is like, oh, look at that. The Republicans are out-lefting the Democrats.
Brianna with FBI with Marjorie Taylor Greene, remember, as you just brought up.
They're becoming more populist.
That is so annoying.
What do they omit? We just had a vote in the Senate on expanding the child tax credit, and J.D. Vance missed it on purpose. He didn't vote for it. If he was so pro-child tax credit, he would have showed up and voted for it. Instead, 44 Republicans voted against it, and his ass didn't even show up. So how can you say he's in favor of, increasing the child tax credit? That's nonsense.
Over rhetoric.
And then, by the way, Kamala also comes out within the same week and says...
And that also applies to Kamala, too. She's not president, so she can't really do anything yet. You have to wait for her to become president before you can really go after her.
Oh, he wants to do a $5,000 extended child tax credit? I want to do a $6,000 extended child tax credit. I'm one-upping you, bitch. And what are these people? Kamala doesn't mean it, and Kamala's wrong. Even though the Democrats did vote.
I mean, she might not mean it. She might not give a shit at all. But so do the Republicans.
Yep.
For the extended child tax credit. The Democrats don't mean it. The Democrats are liars. The Democrats are wrong. Look, they're copying J.D. Vance. No, J.D. Vance is a liar. He's a liar.
Fucking
if he supported extending the child tax credit, he could have fucking voted for it, and he didn't.
Yep,
44 Republicans voted against it.
As I said, they're deliberately stupid for money or whatever else.
Even just minor rhetoric from Republicans that is slightly more populist, and it's, here comes the realignment. The Republicans are the working class party, but the Democrats...
behind Donald Trump.
And of course, you remember, we talked about last time, too, like, idiots like, Nico House that actually said Trump is the lesser evil, and a whole bunch of others now saying like Trump is better than Kamala now. Like, no.
Yep.
No. Like I'll say this again. If you don't like Kamala and you don't want to vote for her, that's fine. If you want to vote for the Green Party, that's fine, all that. You could think all that. That is perfectly fine, you do you. But don't ever tell me to my face that Trump and Republicans are lesser evil. If you're progressive, you don't ever say that. Period. 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 Motherfucking period.
Can actually, in many instances, vote for the right policies. And it's like, no, that doesn't count because they're lying and they water down the policy and it's worse for reasons X, Y, and Z.
God, I love saying
totally
that.
fucking...
you are fucking with a shuckle here.
I'm the Democrats now. Fucking microphone and totally credulous about Republicans, even though it's just fucking rhetoric. Right? Like this idea, Trump goes,
use helping hand on me.
Whatever. He has a couple things that he says where,
get
sounds like that's an anti-war position, but then totally ignoring his record, right? Because he said the words, and I'm totally credulous when it comes to Republicans, so they're being more working class.
Tar shot all the ones that multiply rock damage. Find a snom and find a snom, screech it 3 times. Do everything else you can to reduce its defense. Get a Chow Ping or whichever one of those 4 lowers enemy defenses even further. And then you pile that up, and then you just go and boom, 500 million damage you'll reduce to your strings.
Even though it has no impact on the battle, let me just get this iron ball in my item slot. There we go.
Friendly.
Now I match my weight.
It's just, that's ultimately what ends up happening. So I don't want to say this isn't a real phenomenon, because it is. It's just overstated because it's high-profile media figures, right?
And of course, idiots that are on Twitter.
It's either high-profile media figures, it's activists, it's politician types. These are the ones who did that Bernie to Trump journey, right? But among the population, it's way less.
If you're a progressive, you don't support Trump and Republicans. Period.
Exactly.
Look, like I said, if you don't like the Democrats, don't want to vote for them, that's perfectly fine. All that. You're disappointed with the squad, progressive, all that. That's fine. Don't go all the way to complete stupid with Republicans.
In fact, what's more common is centrist and right-wing pipeline.
Exactly.
But there are it's a real phenomenon, and
Let me use block on you.
You know, you can actually break it down and figure out how these people got where they ended up getting, right? And it's a sad thing, because look, I could tell you, as a 2016 Bernie supporter and a 2020 Bernie supporter, I would rather put my nuts in a waffle iron than even consider voting for Donald Trump. You could put a gun to my head, and I would never vote for Donald Trump. And there are a lot of us. There are a lot of us in the same boat, whether it's in the media or regular people or other politicians or whatever.
Exactly.
You don't see...
And guess what? If a progressive runs... that's another thing, too. They also hate when progressives run as Democrats, remember, too. Because they're fucking cunts.
Crystal, who was a Bernie supporter out there supporting Trump. You don't see
if the Democrats
Cenk
run
Uygur,
progressive, I'm going to vote for him. Sorry if you don't like
supporting
it,
Donald
I'm
Trump.
going to do that.
You don't see Hassan Piker. I'm just going with media right now, but you guys get the point. The point is,
if
there's way more of us who are like, no, we understand and we know what Trump is. Right.
And 2030,
for some percentage of the population,
I'm going to support him unless he shits
they don't agree.
Exactly.
Right? So just to recap real quick.
And I'm sure that's same down there, too, if Labor actually got their shit right.
Yes. Look, they're facing going into minority government because they've been shit light.
To the mainstream. This is how these people ended up where they ended up going
At
for
least
Bernie
you have
Trump.
a more functional brain
Contrarianism to the
unlike
mainstream.
we do.
Yes, we do.
Edginess.
Our Greens actually hold the balance of power in the Senate.
Greens actually win down there, too, unlike here? Oh.
Careerism, right?
Making
Staying
me very
relevant
jealous.
after your team turns on you. So careerism and opportunism is a big part of it. For some, the media figures generating clicks and eventually audience capture.
Anti-establishment,
taking anti-establishment thinking to the extreme of believing anything that's the opposite of establishment thinking across the board. So instead of being anti-big pharma, now you're anti-modern medicine. Instead of just being anti-mainstream media, you say, oh, and Alex Jones has some great points too, right? Some are accelerationists
American
as well.
Diabolism
and then, of
too.
course, I think the biggest part of it
American
is
Diabolism,
they
which
just
Kyle
fucking hate
is.
liberals. They just fucking hate Democrats. And they took what were reasonable criticisms that Bernie made against Democrats and liberals. They've taken that, put it on steroids and human growth hormone, and that's all they talk about, and they give the Republicans a complete pass.
Yeah, focusing on Democrats
that's
only. Never
the
talking
magic
about Republicans.
stew as to how you get this toxic-ass dumb mix. Hey, y'all, do me a favor.
And this is why Kyle, other than the Russo-Ukraine war, is like the most base progressive on YouTube, because he talks how it is.
Yeah,
so, yeah.
Exactly.
So what do you got to say about Kyle's video on that? Burning the Trump pipeline.
Yeah, that's pretty much, yeah, it's, you see how it works, like, you get the Bernie thing, and then get the and you want to know the big thing that I think sent a lot of people down this pipeline?
What?
COVID.
Mm-hmm, yep, that too. And Bernie losing 2020 as well.
Yep. Yep.
Like, guys, you gotta try no matter what, pretty much. You can't ever just give up, for crying out loud. Oh my gosh. So now, on to the next topic.
And that is... Where are we? Vanguard destroys third-party idiots.
I don't think we've ever covered the Vanguard on the show before. I've mentioned before because, unfortunately, when it comes to the Russo-Ukraine war, they're even stupider than Kyle, believe it or not. Kyle actually debated him on this issue, and he was on the pro-Ukraine side, believe it or not. That's how insane they were. So anyways, the Vanguard is run by two progressives in the Midwest, Zach and Gavin, and recently, just like Kyle, because, oh my god, they've been doing a whole bunch of videos on Kyle's burning the Trump pipeline, and they did a video making fun of Door's meltdown against Kyle recently. And
this is going to be fun.
And they did a video that, oh my god, they got so much shit for this, but they are 100% correct. They went after the Green Party and third party movements on it and made fun of them because they're not really serious guys. Like, I hate to say it as someone who's voted for the Greens the last two presidential elections, you guys aren't serious, really. You don't have any power whatsoever, and you're just not serious. And, oh boy, did they piss off everyone. They got Breonna Joy Gray on their ass, too. She was so salty about it.
Oh, so good.
Everyone was mad with them. So, yeah, let's watch. Possibly the first time they're on the show.
Oh, I got this one. Shout out to you, Susan Stone. Why are you letting your copium lead you to believe that Tim Walz was just put on the ticket for any other reason than to placate and shut up those of us on the true left?
Maybe that was the case. Maybe she did put Walz there so we can all be happy. But, I mean, it's still a good thing regardless because Walz is a base chuckle. When you should be happy.
Seriously, the Green Party has been going against the big money.
We finally got a progressive
Democratic
VP
Party
for
pretty
once.
much for all of its existence.
And remember,
Most of Bernie's
2032.
ideas
It was
come from
really
the Green Party.
good.
That's not true. Bernie Sanders.
I'll say it like
the
this.
meltdowns that have been happening from both sides has been awesome to watch.
I'll say it like this. If you like Bernie, you should like Walz by default. And if you don't, there's something wrong with you. Which a lot of stupid dumb leftists on Twitter
has
had
been
to deal
doing
with.
this since
Which
way
finally,
before the Green Party was
which
founded.
finally woke me up on this script that Kyle covered.
And specifically Ralph Nader. Ralph Nader's a great guy, but even 18 months ago, he was talking about how he was going to do everything he could to beat Trump, and he's pivoted his tune again because he wants to be a little more relevant. And I'm just being consistent. I'm more interested in working towards getting Jill Stein as close to 5% as possible. Giving up on third parties because they haven't done anything in the recent past that is earth-shattering doesn't make any sense. It took a ton of time for civil rights, women's rights, workers' rights to take effect. And I hate to say a lot of sacrifice and even death. Yeah, I totally agree with everything you're saying, Susie Stone. But the reality is that Jill Stein represents none of this. She represents a LARP. She represents a distraction. And none of the things that the civil rights did are things that Jill Stein is doing. Showing
You know who did that? Democrats.
up every 4 years to collect signatures to run your own self for president.
Back when
because
they were
you can't
progressive.
stand the thought of the Green Party not being on the ballot everywhere.
Because
when you're
Democrats
not moving
can
towards
be
5%,
progressive. You just got to try and take them over.
Yes,
Gavin is a two-time Green Party
that
voter.
something like that did happen.
Every day for 4 years pushing Joe Biden to the left and giving ample time for Green Party people to come on the show. I interviewed Jill Stein just as I interviewed what's his face that's running for the Libertarian Party. I let them come on here to persuade us, but there was a huge movement of people who were desperate to see change, and the Green Party was able to suck up none of it. Okay, they have not moved closer to 5%. They have moved further away. Jill,
like hell, back in 2016, when it was like the biggest like third party movement in like 100 years or so. Actually, like the last like 20 plus years or so. Jill Stein didn't. I don't even think she even got like 1% of the vote for crying out loud.
Yep.
And of course, you had Gary Johnson Libertarians. They got like 3%. They're like the best.
Exactly.
They're like the best third party option.
This was going for a long time.
You know, like you guys just don't win. Like I hate to break the news to you.
Jill Stein in 2016 got 1.6%.
And like another thing too with the Green Party is you guys don't focus on like local elections where you might have a chance to win. All you care about is the presidency, and that's it.
Of the general election vote, Susie, do you know what Ralph Nader got in 2000? He got like 2.7. Okay, what's that? A steep decline? Let's talk about 2020. You can blame COVID. 0.2%. You can pull it up. 0.2% of the eligible population to vote showed up and voted for the Green Party. I'm sorry, that's not a serious movement. 2 months isn't going to get 5% of the national electorate to vote for Jill Stein. It's not happening. As Gavin already pointed out, the people who do vote for Jill Stein do it by default because they see her name on the ballot and she's not part of the duopoly.
Or, like me, I voted for Jill Stein 2016 and Howie Hawkins in 2020 because they were the progressive option, and I am a progressive. So let's see.
Greens was my first option in the House and the Senate, and my early down here in Australia, and I vote Labor like second or third.
Let's rub in our face because you have ranked choice voting too. Flexing in front of me too, making me very jealous.
Okay, it's not effective. People can say that they're...
So I looked it up. In 2016, Jill Stein got just 1% of the vote. And that's with the third-party support. Yay, I'm part of that 1%, yay! And now I want to look up 2020.
Negotiating their vote. They're holding it and withholding it. But what we've seen consistently is the Democratic Party has just written off that section of the population. They're now no longer interested in negotiating with you. They're now no longer interested in getting your vote. And they've decided to move the entire party to the right. Now, instead of saying in 80 years the Green Party is going to get to 12% and then the Democrats are going to have to negotiate with us, I am more interested in...
2020, 0.2% of the vote. 407,000 votes. Guys, and remember, the 2020 election was the highest turnout in American presidential history since 1900. Over 150 million votes, and Greens only got 400,000 votes, for crying out loud.
Saying, I know the reality of the situation is that Democrats are like 85% as bad as the Republicans, but they can be moved to the left. The Republicans are not going to be moved to the left. So my analysis is that me and what I want to spend my time doing is talking about how we can negotiate with the Democratic Party. There is a reason that guy's...
And another thing, too, is how we can't take you fully seriously is that there's two progressives running, remember? Stein and, of course, unless Cornel West, because I heard some stuff recently that maybe you should look it up if he dropped out recently. I could have sworn heard something about that or something sort of that. But if not, we have two progressives running, for crying out loud.
Exactly.
If you really want,
like that.
If you want a good chance to win, you gotta have just one, for crying out loud. Or, because apparently, here we go. This is what I was remembering. Apparently, according to Cornel West, Kamala's team actually came to him to try and give him concessions to endorse her and such. If you didn't hear that, and and of course RFK Jr. tried that too with both Trump and Kamala, but of course Kamala dismissed him because he's a loon and all that. And I think Stein tried to do it with Kamala as well, but because she's irrelevant, I think Kamala just ignored her.
Like Waleed Said, who have worked tirelessly for the uncommitted movement, have done so negotiating with
here's
the
another thing, guys. The uncommitted movement was more successful than you guys.
Exactly, yeah.
They are the uncommitted vote, which I voted for this year, had the second most votes in the press.
Uncommitted. Wasn't that 16% in Michigan?
Or something like that. Uncommitted basically had the second most votes in the Democratic primary. For crying out loud.
Yep.
Democratic Party, because to do so with the Green Party would be unserious. It would be a LARP. It would be a fantasy. It would be pageantry for a very narrow group of people online who want to celebrate them. Then we could talk about the just downright bad strategy of Jill Stein, uplifting the Revolutionary Blackout Network, having an anti-Semite
Revolutionary Blackout Network, of course.
Beyond Green Party literature, beyond Green Party events. That's not a good look. You guys might not think you're in the business of gaining votes for the Green Party, but they have to win. Politics is about winning. Green Party's really into virtue signaling on Twitter and dunking on the Democrats, and that's not how you build a moment because
and never bring up Republicans almost ever, too. That's another thing, problem with the Greens. They always shit on Dems and never bring up anyone else.
Because people want to see serious efforts. They don't want to see everybody who disagrees with them get called a genocide supporter. They don't want to see, genocide's not a red line for you because you're not going to vote for this lady that has no chance that I have a material interest in working for because I'm getting paid by this place. That's how it comes across. That's how it comes across to everybody. And so we are here to be the bearer of bad news.
Well, here's the thing I want to bring about. Hey, you're going to vote for Kamala. She supports genocide. Again, my best argument is Jill Stein doesn't support Ukrainians. So she's in cahoots with the genocide against Ukrainians. You all support it because none of y'all are really do care about care about genocide. You only care about the
No, they
Palestinians, and like
and
like Zach and Gavin
only
point
care
out
about America bad.
Yep, and of course, like Zach and Gavin point out, a lot of it probably is just because they're anti-Semites, which is something unfortunately I had to accept the reality that a lot of people on the left are probably just grifters or actually far-right people that actually support in this regard.
Remember that a lot of them are just so authoritarian. They just don't. They're not actually left or right. It's just the authoritarianism for showing up.
So yeah,
they're overtaking everything, even their economics. And of course, a lot of cases, their ideology just boils down to America bad.
Like, I'm going to be voting for Kamala, of course, and the reason why is because Trump's going to start World War III if he wins, and I got to prevent that at all costs. I mean, it's not going to matter because I'm in a deep blue state, so Kamala's going to win my state no matter what, but guys, if you use you're going to vote for, you support genocide, you guys support genocide of Ukrainians, which I'm against. So if you're going to go after me for being pro-genocide, you're pro-genocide against another group too. So how about that one? You got nothing on me. How about that one?
Don't forget that the Moldovans and Georgians are going to be done too.
And here's another thing that these people never recognize too about Kamala. You do know, because I think we brought up too, that Bibi hates Kamala. Did you know that?
Yep.
Fucking
no surprise.
Hates her. I wouldn't be surprised if he went misogynistic on her when he gets a chance. Because he's such a piece of shit.
He would.
Like, there's a chance that they hate each other so much that maybe there's a chance she could pressure him to finally stop being a genocide Nazi. We don't know because she's not in power yet. But you all think she has all the power in the world. You guys overestimate how much power she has at the moment and such like that. Same goes for Biden too a lot of times. You guys overestimate how much power he has too. And then sometimes you underestimate him. Like, you gotta wait and see sometimes.
The Green Party has to either start from scratch and start taking itself seriously so that we can all take it seriously, or it's going to continue to LARP on Twitter.
And like I said too before, I would probably maybe consider voting for Cornell or Jill Stein like I did back in 2016. But I can't because they are bad on the Russo-Ukraine war, and that is a complete deal breaker. And guess what, guys? I hate to say this, but there's only one party and one person that supports that issue. Kamala. That's it.
Exactly.
It's become more and more of a niche movement.
It's annoying.
People support it.
It's very frustrating that supposed leftists can't realize what they're doing because American capitalism.
Because that's
actionable that they're trying to cheerlead for. Like, I'm sorry, I really love you, Susie Stone. You've been a listener for a long time, and I'm not trying to take this out on you. I'm just giving my heartfelt response to everybody who has sent me tons and tons of mail calling me a sellout. I tweeted this out the other day, bro. When we were getting dumped on all day for being shit-lip sellouts, you don't care about anything. I was at work for 10 hours on my feet. Okay, I don't work an office job. I don't work a coaching job.
Another thing too is you guys are terminally online. And you're probably very wealthy,
too. I love
too.
being terminally online.
You're probably better off than most people.
Every day, and I talk to them. And you know what? Anytime I brought up the Green Party, they're like,
privilege binding.
About, dude? It's not serious. It's not serious. So, yeah, I am riding the hopium of Tim Walz because I can be actionable with that. I can make sure that people in my community...
And yeah, that's another thing, too. People might be voting for Kamala because, hey, we can get a base progressive VP for once. And then 2032, he could run. Like, you're not thinking long-term potentially.
Show up to protect abortion rights.
Yep.
Show up so that the people
that's what we need to do.
But then again, of course, once he was announced, remember, they all shat on him and all that.
Work with
because their only ideology is American plan.
Okay, so these are real issues to me. I'm not sitting behind my
I heard that.
Okay, I can see the difference between black and white and gray.
Kind of hurt my ears.
And like you said, Zach,
they make me so mad.
First of all, I did not spend 10 hours yesterday.
I have to deal with these idiots every morning too on Twitter. How about that? This reminds me. If all of you didn't know, the other day, because you saw it, I debated idiots on Twitter for like 7 hours straight on dumb leftist stuff. Oh my god. And almost half of it, and you saw it too, was about the Russia-Ukraine war, how it's America's and NATO's fault for everything. America overthrew them. Russia will always win. Yada, 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 and all that. Oh, man. That was a good time.
At me, I was sitting
I got 4 people to block me, too, because I triggered them that much.
But for real, you know, I did vote for the Green Party in 2016.
Imagine being on Twitter for 7 hours debating these clowns.
And I also voted for Howie Hawkins.
It was like 30 people I had to deal with.
20. And that's 2 election cycles. That's 8 years. Maybe you want to say, well, you should spend your entire life voting for Green Party candidates, hoping that they get more and more of a percent and slowly build.
I mean, like I said, if you want my vote, you gotta change on the Russo-Ukraine war. I'm sorry, I'm not compromising on that. That's too much to me. Sorry.
You need to spend 75 years.
Yeah, remember that Ukraine's immediately protecting Moldova and Georgia, and is also protecting Taiwan and about 20 other countries.
Whatever. You can tell me that I have a short attention span and that 8 years is nothing. It's just a blip. But guess what? In those 8 years, I've watched the Green Party take not 1 or 2 steps backwards, but massive steps backwards.
They've rolled down the hill backwards very
Party
fast.
Campaign is infinitely more.
As someone who actually has a successful Green Party, maybe you need to explain to these clowns over here.
Yeah. Well, one of the things you could probably do to help would be to, have ranked choice voting, but make sure you're in the spotlight regularly, so that people actually know who you are, and then maybe you can get a few more votes.
Like run for local elections.
Yes, run local.
And stop saying unbased things like Ukraine bad.
Or embarrassing
exactly.
in the 2016 Green Party campaign. Again, 8 years ago, guys, it was infinitely more serious.
Like,
and
you
also,
can have my vote potentially still, but you gotta drop that issue.
If I actually thought the Green Party could get to 5%, that would be one thing, Susie.
That's a
You're
complete
saying that
deal
you want the
breaker.
Green Party to
Sorry,
get to
I
5%.
can't
feel
vote
you.
for that.
That's a important benchmark, and I think that if I had any actual serious, if I seriously thought the Green Party had a chance of getting to 5%, I would actually seriously consider voting them, because I think that does build the movement. However, we had Jason Call, Jill Stein's campaign manager, on our show about 6 months ago when he became her campaign manager, and I was very honest with Jason, someone who's a friend of the show, someone who Zach and I have a good relationship with. I asked him very simply, I said, hey man, in 2016 the Green Party got over 1%. In 2020 they took a step backwards, they got less than 1%. How are you guys going to change strategy in this election cycle to make sure that the Green Party takes a step forward, not another step back? How are you going to make sure that the Green Party actually becomes somewhat more serious this time around? And to be honest, I did not get a compelling answer, guys. And I said that after the interview. I was honest about it on air. You guys have watched in real time as my opinion of the modern day third party movement has evolved. Right? This is not something new. Zach and I have been talking about this stuff for months and months now, as we've watched the third party movement fall apart in front of us. So yeah, we've had the Green Party folks on our show. We've had Jason Call.
Okay, Tim, I can't hear. Suddenly, I can't hear anything.
Oh my God!
For a Democrat,
you're back.
Marianne Williamson.
Oh, there we go.
That was convenient. It's not. It's clearly something that's within their.
Apparently, AC has soundproof for you.
And again, we've had Jill Stein on. We've had Cornel West on. We've had not Cornel West. We've had Jason Call on. We've had Jill Stein on. We've taken them seriously. We've given them respect. But ultimately, when I ask them, what's going to be different this time? How are you actually going to achieve what you claim is your goal? How are you going to change your strategy to get a different result? It's always just the same bullshit, guys. It's always just the same, 5 to 10 cliches over and over and over again. You tune into any Green Party live stream, any third party live stream or virtual rally or whatever you want to call it. It's always the same tired, boring shit. The same talking points, the same.
I mean, if anything, if you really want to support third parties, you kind of have to support the Libertarians, because they actually have the best chance of everyone. I hate to break the news to you.
Beating you over.
I mean, they almost got 5% in 2016.
There's nothing fresh, and they need to change strategy if they're ever going to be taken seriously. Until that happens, I'm not going to take them seriously.
Yep. So anyway. And that was really long-winded. Gavin and I have a lot of emotion built up in this. This is something we do every day, and it's frustrating for us that people will just write off all of our opinions like, oh, you're a sellout. Oh, you've joined the shit-lib.
Careful, Zach and Gavin. Soon they'll probably say they'll dismiss you because you're white.
Our bedroom, Kansas City, Missouri, and we interact with real people every single day because we live in a real town, okay? And we're surrounded by our real friends. And I think that is another thing that left has to understand. The Bernie era is over. So our ideas are not mainstream
I don't know about
anymore.
that.
We lost.
Well, the Bernie specifically era is coming. The Bernie era will end when hard Bernie era would be by Bernie himself era is coming to an end and will end when Bernie dies.
But the
Bernie Ideas group won't ever die.
Especially with base walls in power, hopefully soon.
Yes!
And do you know
2032 people.
When you're rebuilding, act like you're on
Let's
top.
draft him to
So
run
now
that.
We're building a foundation again.
Yes,
We're meeting
let's
people
do
where
that.
they are,
This is
and
going to
we're
be very
dragging them back
important.
over to our side because that's the role of a leftist. Okay, it's not.
How
the
funny
60s
too!
anymore.
Perfect
We're
timing.
not taking off our clothes.
Exactly
and putting
100
flowers
years
in people's
when FDR
guns,
took
right?
over.
We're not doing
Nice.
in the 70s now, in the early 80s, and it's the hard work again, and it's the thankless work again, and you also say they'll make it look like they're doing something, but only what the donors will allow. It will be crumbs again. 100. You're not saying anything that's not wrong, right? And honestly, why are you to the right of a 71 independent? Like, that's what you have to not understand, Susie. It's like I could shout on the top of my lungs that I'm a anarcho-communist baby, and I could come out here and say nothing's good enough, nothing's good enough, nothing's good enough, and then one day I'll realize, oh my gosh, all my audience is listening to Jimmy Dore, and all my audience is just tuned out or sympathetic to the right wing. And instead,
I mean, you two have pretty much lost all those
mobilize
people because you made fun of Dore over the last
mobilize
few
people to
months.
make a difference. And so this time around, I'm going to talk about
If
how,
anything, that's
unfortunately,
good.
Kamala Harris is the lesser evil. You don't have to vote for her, but you don't really have an option to argue that she's not the lesser evil. You can say, I'm tired of lesser evils, I'll say me too. Okay?
Again,
and then
if
I'll
you don't
talk
want to
about
vote
how
for him, that's
at my
perfectly
local
fine.
level, in Kansas City
Exactly.
and in the state of Missouri, here's how I'm trying to be
Just don't
actionable.
go too
Here's how you
dumb
be
left and say
actionable in your
Trump's
state,
the
and
lesser
here's how
evil
our
or vote for him.
options
Just
are
don't.
at
No,
the national
no,
level. That's all I
no,
can do on
no,
this
no,
podcast.
don't go that way.
no,
No. Beat it out of your head. No.
Like that
Yeah,
feels dishonest.
that is not based.
Also,
That
as far
just
as
shows
the
you're a
Tim Walz thing,
moron.
Again,
It doesn't
with all due
deserve to
respect
be
you,
talked
Susie,
to
I
anyone.
really appreciate
And
the
if you're
support.
progressive,
I
you're
know a
supposed to
longtime
not be a
listener,
moron.
but I don't like
Exactly.
being told that I'm not
You're supposed to
allowed
be
be
based,
excited
like
about
Walz.
something. Like I do think
Yes.
it's meaningful that Tim Walz got picked over.
Oh, yeah, like, of course, they brought up how Tim Walz got in. I'm so happy about it, but are these people happy? No! And I don't get it.
Shapiro or Mark Kelly or one of these other corporate stooges. Tim Walz is the best governor in the country. He's most likely, arguably, the most progressive governor in the country.
He's the
He
most
has
progressive
policies that are
people are
very
going to
much
have in a
similar
long
to Bernie
time.
Sanders.
Yep,
In
and that's
America,
really
we're not
good.
used to getting much of anything as a left. All the vice presidential picks of my lifetime have been dog shit. John Edwards, fucking, are you kidding me? Tim Kaine.
Well,
I mean, not even talking about the Republicans. Look at the Democrats and who they've picked. Joe Biden. Are you kidding me? Yeah, Tim Walz is actually something to be excited about. He'll be a heartbeat away.
Yeah,
from the
really
presidency
good.
if Kamala
Base!
wins. Again,
Base
we're used to being
chuckle!
spit in the face. Tim Walz.
Yes.
Is actually
Let
something
him
worth
spend
being a
8
little
years
bit
as VP,
optimistic
setting
about.
up that
And I'm not gonna
500 million
hide that
damage, and
just
2032
in order
comes
to
around,
serve
he'll
my
destroy
own
everyone
sense
in
of
front of him.
virtue.
Yep.
I'm the leftist in the world, and I refuse to ever give the Democrats credit, no matter what. No, Tim Walz.
Oh yeah, that's another thing too. If Democrats ever do anything right, they'll just smugly dismiss it like it's either like not enough or it's watered down on it. And you know what? To be fair, that could both be true. Maybe it isn't enough a lot of times, and it's watered down, whatever. But if they still do the right thing, you still gotta acknowledge it too, and still you can acknowledge the other thing too.
Walz was a good pick. It was
Yeah.
a good
It's
pick.
not one or
I'm
it's
excited
not
about it.
either
I
or.
hope that it signals
Both can be
a,
true.
slightly more positive
It's a base
economic
thing,
future
but
for
it's
the
not
Democratic
enough. We need to
Party,
keep
et cetera,
going.
et cetera. We can talk about all of that. But yeah, I'm going to be honest about that. We have a political show. I'm not just going to be like Mr. Black Pill Doomer and come out here and say, this is just them trying to sheep herd us into the left. Like, no. This is America. Again, I'm sorry, but Shama Sawant is not going to be elected the president. Rashida Tlaib is not going to be elected the president. Tim Walz is about as close to a freaking progressive leftist as we're probably ever going to get a heartbeat away from the White House. So yeah, I'm going to celebrate that.
We didn't think Walz was gonna be picked, and he was. Be happy like me.
We thought they were going to do frickin'
Shapiro's con ass.
yeah, Shapiro.
We got something based, so be happy. So yeah, we gotta see about them making fun of the Green Party.
I think it's really good to see.
And of
Because
course,
bloody hell.
maybe they should take notes from down there how it works.
Yes, they definitely need to.
All right, now on to the next topic.
Republicans expose themselves as a racist we already knew for the 4,785th time.
Hey guys, we finally can get into the Haitian migrants eating cats now.
Yes, I
And all
remember
the
this.
racism
Oh
that
my
we've dealt
God.
with. Yay! That's what I woke up to this morning, too. Racist tweets everywhere. Thank you, Elongated Musgrave. I want to see that on my feed first thing in the morning when I want to look up the Russo-Ukraine war or anime clips. Thank you.
Yep.
Stupid cunt.
Yep.
So, let's watch racism.
Here we go.
Last week, Republicans and some who purport to be on the left were claiming that Venezuelan...
Of course. Idiot, dumb leftists, of course. Oh my god, here we go again. They're even doing this crap.
Yeah, as usual.
Over entire complexes.
Again, you're not a progressive if you spew this crap. Like, no, just no. Stop,
exactly.
stop,
But after that BS hoax was debunked, well, right-wingers immediately latched onto a new xenophobic conspiracy theory to scare you into thinking that you should be very, very worried about Haitian migrants, specifically because they want to kidnap your pets.
Wait, what?
And eat them.
Let me slip that out.
That's what they want.
That's
they want to say they want to say their N-words, and we
for
hate
example,
them.
tweeted months ago.
Please go ahead. Just say it. I want you to openly say it. Please, just say the N-word. We know you want to say it. Just say it, and then we can laugh.
I raised the issue of Haitian illegal immigrants draining social services and generally causing chaos all over Springfield.
May I add up too? Because I don't know if Mike covers, because I didn't watch this video yet. Because this town in Ohio, they've actually had to deal with chaos because of you conservatives doing bomb threats now recently.
Ohio. Reports now show that people have had their pets abducted and eaten by people who shouldn't be in this country. Where is our borders are? Referring to Kamala Harris, of course. Now, you'll see in a moment that there's absolutely no evidence for this.
This is the quote that I was thinking of.
Oh no.
Give it a moment. This is the quote I was thinking of. You can start out in 1954 by saying end slow, end slow, end slow. By 1968, you can't say end slow. That hurts you. Backbites. You say stuff like force busting, states' rights, and all that stuff, and you're getting so abstract. Now we're talking about cutting taxes, and all these things you're talking about are totally economic things. And a byproduct of them is blacks get hurt worse than whites. We want to cut this as much more abstract than even the busing thing. And a hell of a lot more abstract than end slow, end slow. And although I did say slow because it was all, every time it was mentioned, it was the hard R.
And of course, and for all of you who don't know, was a quote for Reagan's main campaign strategist in 1980.
Yep, Lee Atwater on the Southern Strategy. And
of course all that.
Vance wasn't the only one to spread this conspiracy theory. He's just the most prominent Republican to spread this conspiracy theory. There were others. Republican Representative Mike Collins tweeted without evidence they're in the park grabbing up ducks by the neck and eating them. Okay? Elon Musk then shared an AI image of...
duck is lovely, but you gotta cook and gotta prepare it and cook it first.
Trump saving a duck and a kitten that was literally tweeted by the Republicans on the House Judiciary Committee. Very, very serious party, folks. And then we have this one from Miles Ian Chong, who's not even an American, by the way, who tweeted out an extremely racist image that's AI generated of two Haitian immigrants chasing Trump, who's running away with kittens, because of course Trump is the hero who's trying to protect your pets from these scary Haitians. Now the reason why they have all these AI generated images is because this isn't happening, so they have to fabricate it. Charlie Kirk shared two images, one with the headline that reads, "Biden floods Ohio town with 20,000 Haitian migrants," and another with a viral Facebook post from somebody who says that her neighbor told her that a Haitian in the neighborhood abducted her cat to eat it, and that this was happening to dogs too, apparently. Now, Charlie Kirk added that this was another gift of the Biden-Harris mass immigration replacement plan, trying to loop in the white supremacist great replacement conspiracy theory as well. He adds, liberals will soon be lecturing Americans on why they need to be sensitive to Haitian culture and accept this as the new...
Also, fuck you if you actually do this cultural relativist crap like SJWs do. Like, no.
God, that's retarded.
Like, no. Well, first off, you're kidnapping people's animals. You can't do that. That's a whole different argument if you want to eat them, which, of course, eating cats and dogs, we view them as pets in the West. You don't eat pets. But it is still freedom. That's one of the criticisms we do against China for eating dogs. Oh, and Korea as well, eating dogs, of course.
Yep.
And they have unfortunately, they do have a good argument right back. You guys eat livestock and you don't even think about whatsoever. That is true.
Yeah.
The difference is that we view them as livestock and not pets. That's why it's okay to eat them and not like dogs and such. But that is a true argument. But still, please stop eating dogs. That's very unbased.
Yeah. Normal. Those idiots deserve to be condemned.
But like, don't defend us, especially kidnapping people's animals. But of course, we all know that this is all bullshit too.
Mocked mercilessly, save
All
our
racism.
pets, secure our borders.
Exactly.
White supremacist
strongly
Stephen Miller
encourage,
joined in,
other than
adding,
the
"We've
threats
reached
that
the point."
they've had to deal with in this town, be as racist and misogynistic as possible. Please, you'll lose and we win. Yay!
Kamala's migrant invasion, where the
Exactly.
migrants are stealing and eating Americans' pets. And idiot Ted Cruz tweeted out an image of 2 cats with the caption, "Please vote for Trump so Haitian immigrants don't eat us." There's more, but you get the point.
Trump would
This
probably
is
want to
honestly
step on
exhausting to me. You
And
know,
laugh
if you're
evilly as he
genuinely
does it, too.
I think
concerned about
I think
people who
stomp on you more correctly.
He'll be like, please make sure you use and minimize first. Stomp, double damage.
Yeah.
eat dogs, then
Yeah.
why
Yeah.
are you cool
And
with
I'll
RFKG?
use
That's revenge.
focus energy to make it a critical hit. Or have sniper for my ability, so it does 3 times it does more damage.
This is prevent for all the critical guarantee slash from you Persian bastards and stadium. Take that and that and that.
When you're endorsing Donald Trump, who allegedly
Oh,
ate a
I
dog.
feel it.
Then you have a problem
I feel
with
that.
him?
Just like all the trainers in my Stay 1 playthrough last year felt that slash critical hit every time for my Persian. Enjoy seeing my Persian lick its paw before it slashes at you as it smugly looks at you.
Why are you cool with Kristi Noem?
Oh
Kristi
no,
Noem
not her. No,
shot her pet
no,
dog.
no, no,
And then
no,
she
I don't
shot
want to
her
hear her
pet
do
goat.
that. No.
I feel like they're more of a
What
threat
an
to
evil
pets
cunt.
than any immigrant in the country.
Yeah.
But of
Who
course, the
kills
goal
animals?
here is
That's
to scare you
that's
into
Nazi
thinking that these
stuff.
black immigrants are
That
savages
is.
who have
Actually,
no
that's
regard
worse
for
than
American
Nazis,
culture and
because apparently
customs.
Hitler,
and
at least, did actually like animals.
Which is
One
really
of the
creepy.
very few good things he had going for him.
And no Nazis, that doesn't make him base still.
They've brought their barbarism
No, that
into
does
our
not.
pure white
It just
country,
means
and
that he
we have
is
to
not
reject
a
that.
complete and
You know,
utter,
aside from
total,
this being
absolute
extremely
bastard.
fucked up and
just
dehumanizing
not one of
and
those words
obviously
off.
extremely racist, none of it is true. Obviously. First of all, Haitian
Of
people
course.
don't eat dogs and cats. They basically eat the same kind of meats that Americans eat: chicken, pork, goat, lamb,
Yeah.
shrimp.
Or as someone posts on Twitter, a lot of Haitians actually, believe it or not, eat like dirt and such because Haiti, unfortunately, is a shithole country. Not racism, like when Trump says it, but you guys are a shithole. You're like one of the worst countries in the world, unfortunately. Yep, and colonialism and all that.
Basically, that country's basically isn't Haiti like the Somalia of the Caribbean?
Mm-hmm. Very unfortunate. And yeah, they actually, because I saw someone post on Twitter that a lot of them actually eat like dirt cookies where they mix like dirt with a whole bunch of other stuff. And apparently, if this is true, it actually does provide better like nutrition than anything else they can get their hands on, believe it or not.
Oh!
I don't know if that's true or not, but that's what I heard there. But yeah, Haiti is a shithole, and we need to help build them up so they stop being a shithole. But of course, Republicans don't want that because they want to be just slurring N-words every day.
Shrimp, crab,
Yep,
etc.
they love being
They also,
Nazis.
you're going to be shocked by this, have pets in Haiti. Cats, dogs. Shocking, I know.
Pets
and
are
the
everywhere.
picture that they were circulating of the
Pets
guy
are based.
holding geese is weird because, I mean, if that's evidence that they're savages, Americans go duck and goose hunting all the time. So are
But see, they're
Americans
white, Mike, so
also
that's okay
savages,
then.
or does that moniker only apply
exactly.
to people with melanin? Not to mention, we have no idea if that guy in that photograph is even Haitian or if he lives in Ohio, since the entire conspiracy is based on fiction in the first place. Now, I shouldn't say it's entirely based on fiction, because I will grant them that one cat was indeed eaten, and that's obviously really sad, but that's the kernel of truth that they're basing this entire conspiracy theory on. The problem is that the cat wasn't eaten by an immigrant. It was eaten by somebody who was seemingly mentally unwell, but happens to be an American citizen.
And we don't even know if she was Haitian
migrant,
either.
but they're trying to
But of course,
Haitian
black
migrants
people racism.
Well, take a guess. Now, as the New Republic reports, right-wingers seem to have conflated a report from Canton, Ohio, of a woman who was arrested for allegedly killing and eating a cat with complaints from residents in Springfield, more than 170 miles away from Canton. The woman is a U.S. citizen, and there is no indication she is a Haitian immigrant. Meanwhile, police in Springfield say they have received no reports of pets being stolen and eaten.
Which the people at the presidential debate had to show to Trump because he was a fucking idiot.
According to the Springfield News-Sun, the newspaper says that the rumor began from a local Facebook group where a poster claimed that her neighbor's daughter's friend lost her pet cat and found it hanging from a tree branch at a Haitian neighbor's home to be carved and eaten. The post cited with no evidence that rangers and police said that they have been doing it at a local park with ducks and geese, according to the newspaper. But these reports do not appear to have reached the right, who are not only spreading the rumor but using it to promote anti-immigrant policies and make racist attacks. Of course, but I mean, you know, somebody on Facebook said it, so it must be true, because there's a lot of truth coming from Facebook these days, right? I don't understand why their standard for evidence is so laughably low. Literally any one of us can make up whatever bullshit claim we want on Facebook. Something going viral doesn't automatically make it true.
It's because they're gullible NPCs,
right? A Facebook
that's
post
why.
And they want to spew N-word this, N-word that.
Making a claim is not evidence.
Yep, slurs everywhere.
Just go on Minecraft and say it to Enderman. At least that won't affect anyone.
Than that, in order for a story to be true.
And then you'll probably become
I see
the
a lot
Ender
of crazy
Dragon.
shit on Facebook. A lot of it coming from my own family. And I can guarantee you they have no evidence for the bullshit that they're espousing, so you shouldn't just take a viral post at face value, because that's not what evidence is. Now, the reason why Republicans are obviously trying to pawn this off on Haitian immigrants is because, well, first and foremost, anytime they have the opportunity to link something bad to immigrants, they're going to do that because they're opportunists. But they're claiming that Haitian immigrants are responsible for the original lady eating the cat because that lady is black. And people are implying that she's a Haitian immigrant, but that's not true. In fact, people found out that she's actually registered to vote in Ohio, which confirms that she's a citizen. And any normal human being would see that story and react with disgust and sadness. And I genuinely feel bad for the cat because I love cats. But it's clear that the woman has severe mental health issues.
I don't like cats, but it's only because I'm allergic to them.
I wish I had cats right now, but I can't.
That haven't been addressed. But conservatives took that story, and rather than feeling sadness, they tried to turn it into a conspiracy theory to dehumanize immigrants who have nothing to do with that story.
We just want to say the
N-word. It's really fucked up.
Just want to keep it going constantly.
Trump, you should have said to Kamala in the debate. That would have been hilarious. Please do that next time. And call her a cunt or something like that. To be as misogynistic as possible, please.
Are human beings. And they are trying to live their best lives and pursue happiness and stability,
it's because
just
they're
like the
terrible
rest
human
of us.
beings.
And they're minding their own business, and they're still getting demonized by racist Americans who think that they're barbarians who shouldn't be in our pure white culture. It's despicable.
They're coming
it's
from
so
actual shitholes
they're
who
just
some
like
are
us.
better.
They're
How
human
about
beings.
that? Deal
Why
with
are we
it.
treating them as if they're savages?
Exactly. Shitholes that America caused
antiquated
got
thing
turned,
that's
by the
happening
way.
here is the xenophobia coming from Americans. That's antiquated. That is something that you would expect from barbarians. And listen, like all immigrants, they're just trying to live their life. But Republicans want to dehumanize them and fearmonger about crime that they're bringing into the country because they're just fucking racist. Full stop. Immigrants, both documented and undocumented, are statistically far less likely to commit crime than citizens.
Oh, no.
Which makes a lot of sense
Evidence
because
and data?
if they commit
Oh,
crime, they have so much more to lose than the rest of
It
us.
hurts them
They could
like
lose
the
everything.
sun hurts moms
But
in
anytime
Minecraft.
there's one anecdote of a single immigrant
Or like
doing
a zombie
something bad,
skeleton or
the
something,
right will
no.
blow it up, as they did the story in Aurora, and make
Exactly.
it seem as if it's
No,
representative of
we're
the
gonna be on
entire
fire, we're
immigrant
gonna
community
fall
that they're
over, poof.
talking about. But it's the oldest trick in the book, and you shouldn't fall for it. Most immigrants are good people. I mean, no community is a monolith,
It hurts
but
like water
immigrants
hurts
by and large
Enderman.
are hardworking,
I mean,
Yeah,
N-word
exactly.
man.
and I would much prefer to share a country with them than the fascist Republicans who are demonizing them nonstop.
Oh my god, that was hilarious. Oh my gosh. What do you got to say about that? Oh my god, what a
I love
racist,
that.
Racist fox. Oh my gosh.
No fucking surprise.
not surprised. Conservatives being racist as always. We've experienced it. And of course, as we gotta keep reminding you, they've always been like this, people. Always. Nothing new or anything. Stop acting like this is
always have been, always will be.
Just like it probably is down there too as well.
Yeah, they just got to be a little bit more careful with it.
Their liberal party trying to be as openly racist as possible, am I right?
No, it's not that. Not as badly. That's what the white nation's for.
Oh my god. It's fucking...
Well, they're called they call themselves One Nation, but I just call them White Nation.
Because we're still mad that the Aboriginals are still around. Let's finish them off.
Yeah.
Idiots. Alright, now we get on to the next topic.
The last one, which is elongated Musgrave made Twitter into a Nazi-infested tampon. And considering that I do which we're comparing Nazis to STDs here, which is true.
I know. Everyone's jealous about my titles. Unlike Trump, I make the best titles in the world. No one can deny it. So, yeah. Thank you, Elongated Musgrave, for making Twitter into a Nazi-infested tampon. Because I've already mentioned multiple times, for the last several months now, he is promoting and spewing too neo-Nazi bullshit. Every day.
Of course he is.
Every day. I wake up on Twitter. I see nothing but Nazi this, Nazi that, everything pro-fascist crap everywhere from these idiots. I don't want to see these cunts on Twitter and all that. I shouldn't even have to block them. Exactly. They should just not be showing up. But they're showing up because you changed, the check mark on Twitter instead of being, just to identify famous people so people won't make like troll accounts of them so people get confused. Oh no, now you change it where people have to pay $8 a month and they can get all this promotion just like that to spew their racist bullshit. Oh my, every day now. After, of course, like with the debate, when the Haitians and cat story came up, now every day I wake up, I see tweet after tweet after tweet after tweet. All the crap about Haitians eating cats and all. I'm like, can you stop being racist and show them to people who wants to be racist? Because I don't want to see that. And of course, oh my god, another annoying thing recently. Of course, 9/11's anniversary happened, and guess what I saw the last 2 days afterwards when I wake up on Twitter as well? Want to take
endless anti-Arab racism.
Believe it or not, no, actually.
9/11 conspiracies?
Yes, but they're blaming the Jews for it.
Oh, for fuck's sakes.
How you feel? How you think I feel wake up to that every morning? How would you like to see that every day for like the last few days?
Wow.
So now it's the Jews' fault instead of Muslims for once.
Yeah.
Upgrade, I guess.
Anti-Semitism overwhelming Islamophobia. That is insane.
Because being anti-Semitic is more important than being Islamophobic now, apparently.
No. Yeah, apparently.
Of course, because there's idiots on the right and dumb leftists that are like hardcore anti-Semitic because of the Hamas-Israeli war. They go too far in the other direction. And then, of course, you have idiot pro-Israeli fuckers that think everyone's anti-Semitic like us when we're not.
Everyone's
fucking idiots.
They're anti-Semitic because they don't support Israel letting off a nuclear bomb on Palestine.
Oh, and then, of course, let's get to the main one, too, Elongated Musgrave himself. Every day now, I'm getting his tweets, even though I'm not following him whatsoever, promoting all this Nazi shit and all that, like, Kamala's gonna destroy America and all that. Like, can you shut up already, you dumb fuck? You're destroying Twitter, don't you? And you've lost so much money becoming it. Can you ever just stop and go away? Oh, no! Another thing I remembered recently. Oh,
now
no,
what?
From the debate. So, of course, if, do you know what happened recently with Taylor Swift?
She endorsed Kamala.
Well, yeah. And people were freaking out about, like, guys, she was going to support Kamala. Like, she was going to always support Democrat no matter what. Why y'all freaking out like it's a big deal? Of course she was going to. But, of course, she did because apparently Trump did some AI stuff I
remember
Taylor Swift was endorsing her.
Oh, my fucking God.
Like, no one's going to buy that crap. Like, why? But, oh, God. Oh, no. Do you know what Elongated Musgrave said to Taylor?
What?
Oh my god. And he says this was a joke too. Because when she endorsed Kamala, she was also saying how based Walls is, and she was playing up like the moniker like she's a childless cat lady and all that to like troll them and such. No, I don't even want to think about what he said to her, but oh god, Elongated Musgrave said something along the lines of, because I'm kind of forgetting exact how he said it was something along the lines of, okay Taylor, you win, I'll give you a baby and I'll protect your cats.
What the fuck, dude?
Yep, implying like forced insemination. And of course, everyone's just joking. He was joking, all that. Like, shut up! He is jealous! Guys, how many times I have to bring up, for like a year now, these idiots have a really creepy sexual obsession with Taylor Swift. And a lot of them now have it with Kamala, too, if you've noticed. Like you guys, like we keep telling you, are weirdos! You're obsessed with sex all the time. And I'm a pervert too, and even I'm not like this. This is like the creepy pervert stuff you see like in an ecchi ass manga or anime. And you deserve to get the shit beaten out of you too when you upskirt someone.
Yeah.
Oh my god. Twitter sucks because of you, Elongated Musgrave. Can you please go and sell Twitter already? Back to Jack, please. I want these Nazi pieces of shit out of my site. I'm tired of them blaming.
Because then we could actually get back to some kind of sanity.
I'm tired. I'm tired of waking up every day, seeing them being racist and misogynistic. I'm tired of them obsessing creepily over Kamala and Taylor Swift in a sexual connotation. I'm tired of them being like hardcore pro-Russia. I'm tired of them being anti-Semitic and Islamophobia sometimes too. I'm tired of it. I want to stop. I'm tired of seeing their Nazi bullshit. Just stop and get them out of here. Stop.
Exactly on everything.
And someone, for the love of God, please take Twitter away from him. I can't take it anymore. Stop. Oh my gosh. I was hoping there would be a video on this, but no one's posted a video on this that was good enough, unfortunately. But just like I can't wait to see more bullshit in the morning. Oh my freaking gosh. I'm tired of it. Elongated Musgrave. Oh, here's another thing I just thought of. You know what Elon Musgrave is now officially? I just thought that he's the modern day Henry Ford.
Yes, he is.
And Twitter is his Dearborn Independent. Gotta buy up like one of the biggest social media apparatuses to promote your Nazi bullshit? We saw what happened with Henry Ford when that happened, when World War II broke out. Someone please just buy it away from him, please. I'm tired of seeing his creepy ass destroying Twitter. Oh my god. Just stop. I guess you're happy you're not on Twitter all the time like I am. I'm like terminally online leftist, but not dumb like them. Who spent 7 hours debating these clowns, if you saw in the general chat from last week.
Oh, God.
So yeah, what do you guys say about my meltdown?
Bidding. Understandable.
How would you like waking up every morning to see this crap?
That's a yuck.
Oh my god. It's been just... I just want it to stop. Alright, I don't think there's anything left to talk about now. So, see you all not, guys, next time for episode 113. And this time, we'll be on track on like the last weeks we're on like a 3-week break or whatever. So, see you all next time for 113.
I'll see you then.